All right, everybody. It's a Saturday, June 15th, 2024. I got Alec here with me. I'm expecting Cooper Hopkins to join in as well as we get our first ever trio broadcast of the Stanley Cup Finals. The situation is at hand is this. The Florida Panthers are up 3-0 in this series. They've looked absolutely dominant. What is going to change tonight? We'll get into it, but first the starting lineups. Head coached by Paul Maurice are the Florida Panthers. Alexander Barkov, Evan Rodrigues, Sam Reinhart, Gustav Forsling, Aaron Ekblad, Sam Bennett, Carter Verhaeghe, Matthew Tkachuk, Nico Mikula, and Montour. Anton Lundell, Eetu Luostarinen, Vlad Tarasenko with Oliver Ekman Larson, Dmitry Kulikov. Fourth line will be Kevin Stenlund, Steven Lorentz in net. And head coached by the Edmonton Oilers are Kris Knoblauch. It's Connor McDavid, RNH, Zach Hyman, Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, Leon Draisaitl, Warren Fogle, Corey Perry, Darnell Nurse, Philip Broberg, Adam Henrique, Matthias Janmark, Connor Brown, Derek Ryan, Dylan Holloway, Ryan McLeod with Brett Skinner. Of note for Edmonton tonight, Connor McDavid's going to have some different line mates, as reported by Emily Kaplan. Warren Fogle is going to move up to the first line, and Hopkins will drop back to the second with Leon Draisaitl. And Alec, in between Connor McDavid, RNH, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, the list goes on, but these guys have no goals so far in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's got to change very quickly.
Yes, especially Draisaitl is no points in finals. You want to win games, you have to have your superstars score here. But the five mainstays here, they have not scored against the Panthers. Those Panthers are defensively, no superstar that has faced the Panthers on the way to the Stanley Cup Final has scored against them at 5-on-5. No goals from Nikita Kucherov. No goals from David Pastrnak. No goals from RJ Panarin or Mika Zibanejad out of the East Final. No goals from Connor McDavid. No goals from Leon Draisaitl. Got to change if you're the Edmonton Oilers. I can't believe I'm trying to get a beat the Graham speed off the bat.
Well, I mean, look, you talk about that. It's kind of like the Arena goal thing that they were talking about, and you say Saros, I should say, with the no goals commercial, because it sounds like a lot of that right now, and that's what's going on with Oilers. And again, as we said, that's got to change. I know absolutely yesterday, and I apologize to you because you took an absolute bullet in the NBA playoffs with the Dallas Mavericks. Boy, oh boy, that was a absolute blowout. I'm going to go on record here, Alec. I know I said it a couple days ago with around a 5-2 score. I think close on the goal differential, but again, Florida ended up taking that one. I don't think we're going to see that tonight. In fact, I think the solid and just end this one tonight, because with everything else that's been on their mind, especially from last year, it's business as usual right now. And as much players and fans, essentially, I should say, want to win at home, I think the players don't care about that all that much, Alec. I think Florida's going to try to get it done tonight.
That's the feeling here for the Panthers. No matter if it's on the road or at home, they'll close this one out. Whether it be Game 4, Game 5, should Edmonton win? Either which way, I think this one covered, knowing how this series has gone. They completely got the Oilers lost on the ice.
Yeah.
And the Oilers, for as good as they are defensively, they've lost their defensive composure in the last two games with careless turnovers, either behind the net or on egregious giveaways at their own zone, where Skinner or Nurse for Edmonton on the defensive end. An area that they've been so good at on the way to here, it feels like what you said, that the Oilers were what we thought they were.
Yeah, and again, if there is a post-mortem as far as this season, we'll definitely talk about that a little bit because I also have to get Cooper's thoughts on that. That would be interesting because that's diehards in between Calgary and Edmonton and bitter rivals. So I think you'd have interesting thoughts. We've already kind of shared ours, and we'll definitely do so again. But Emily Kaplan did report this. Again, Alec already mentioned the sports hernia with Evander Kane over the last couple. He's done for this game, but he series should they extend it. He's going to play through the pain. That's what she said. And for game 3, 4-3 win for Florida. Again, as we mentioned, self-inflicted mistakes. Reinhart, Tarasenko, Bennett goals, all pretty much handed to by Edmonton, and up costing them what could have been a victory in the late rally. Honestly, what should have been. Got the game-winning goal. We didn't know that at the time, as it was 4-1 after 2 periods. Edmonton, it was Fogle, the breakaway, Broberg, McLeod, all score. Again, we already talked about McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, and Bouchard that don't have one. And Skinner was hung out to dry as he took another loss, managing 19 saves on 23 shots. But again, Alec and I narrative, and it's this. Stuart Skinner's not the reason why they're down 3-0 in the series. It's a matter of question as far as for Florida whether or not they can do this again. I feel like they've been one of the strongest teams that we've seen over the last couple of years, and it's definitely possible that they get their first Stanley Cup in franchise history tonight. But again, we'll talk about it toward the end. If Edmonton does lose, is this a ceiling for them? And how close are they really? Again, all they can concentrate on, Mr. Nava, here is trying into Tuesday. That's all they can do right now. But it looks bleak.
It looks very weak for them. It does with the Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. And no shame to them for making it on the way here.
No.
But nonetheless, when you have a team that's down 3 games to none, it looks very slim. And with the odds of coming back from down 3 games to none to win a Stanley Cup final. The only time we see that, you have to go on a time rewind during the era of the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs were the only team to do that. And the odds are a team comes back about 3-0 in the series to win in the Stanley Cup final. That's extremely slim.
Yes, it is. And as we get into the anthems here, Alec, I know we got all 3 of us in here now, and Cooper should be hopping in here shortly. And that you were going to take I would take the 3rd. Does that sound good to you?
That's good to me.
Okay, because we continually split across all win the boards, and I'll try to close it. I want to give you gentlemen the most exciting parts of the game because I think by the time the 3rd period hits, it might be a victory lap session. I hope it's not the same way that it was last year in between the Vegas Golden Knights against the beat-up Florida team, but that might stare us in the face. Again, all that energy and everything else kind of went away from the self-inflicted mistakes. Can't afford to do that right now for Edmonton, but you also got to play with pace and you got to score a ton of goals. So can they do that while keeping the pace and keeping the mistakes away? If they can, it'd be the first time they did so in this series.
It would.
So Cooper, I don't know if you're, I know he joined in on the co-host side. You can free to take whenever you want as far as jumping in here as we're getting anthems. If not, we can carry you the rest of the way.
No, gentlemen, I'm happy to be with you. I know you've been doing some hard work. I have to say, first off, let's look back to your preview show that you hosted, John, where I made a pretty bold prediction that this thing might stretch to 7 in overtime. I will say I've never been more happy to, it looks like I'm going to be very, very wrong, gentlemen. So we don't want to count our chickens yet, though, because there's a game to be played. You know these Oilers are going to be desperate. Alec, I really like your comments that you just made, and John, obviously, always making excellent observations as well. I think what has to be said, and both teams know this, especially the Oilers, you can't win 4 games in one night. You cannot play with the kind of desperation that sent edge. There still has to be just enough control if you're the Edmonton Oilers to play your game. You got to save your wind, use your energy in the spots where you're able to make the most of your opportunities, because if you just come out, you know what, to the wall, you might gas your Florida could really capitalize. They're going to be confident. So I'm interested to see, John and Alec, what we get here in the first 5 or 6 minutes, what kind of teams and what kind of tones are going to be set tonight. Really exciting stuff in Game 4.
I think you nailed all of those. And as Alec gets set to take us here for the first period, Cooper, I was thinking you take the second. close it, but if you're not in for the play-by-play side, then we can definitely move around. But Alec should have the action right on top of him here to start this one against Stuart. He's been pretty decent in this series, all things considered. It's been nothing but gaffes on the other end. That's got to get cleaned up, as Cooper mentioned. And Alec, I'm excited for you to take this over. Is Florida going to do this for the first time in franchise history? We'll find out in Rogers Place.
They were waiting 31 years to get a Stanley Cup down to the Fort Lauderdale area. You have Adam Henrique and Alexander Barkov at center ice to begin with. We're underway here. Game 4 of the 2024 Stanley Cup Final. And the first touch by Evan Bouchard from behind Skinner's crease. Sends inside. Brodeur beats out the Oilers to it. Out inside. Bouncing puck. Recollected a first shot. And Sergei Bobrovsky got the better of that as Connor Brown went up and over from Sam Reinhart.
Go ahead and take it, Cooper.
Boy, interesting stuff here. This is what I was just thinking about, gentlemen, that the Oilers came out right away. They look crisp. I know we're talking about one shift, but it all matters when you have your backs against the wall. Alec, great call right there. This is already good stuff.
Yeah, I like that quick slapper and that change. We'll see if they can do it again with an offensive zone draw.
And they still have Connor Brown's line out there opposite the Florida Panthers with Sam Reinhart taking it and winning it. This will be cleared out just by the end by Erod. He had 2 goals, including the winner in Game 2 of this series. If the Cubs might trophy winner for just the Stanley Cup final, Sergei Bobrovsky would be the favorite, no doubt about that. But he's been excellent this series. Just 1 goal allowed in the first 2 games combined, 3 goals allowed in Game 3, but that's not deterred his confidence. Evan Bouchard flipped down for the lane. The Oilers go tumbling down. The Panthers pick it back up. Matthew Tkachuk's line is out there. So dangerous, so delicate, and so deadly. It is Tkachuk to Bennett on goal number 3 of Game 3. Who's out for the near boards to be recollected over the far side. Off of by the Panthers is Tkachuk. Guess who? Of course it is him. Right behind is Sam Bennett. He wants early goal. Can't get it there. Carter Verhaeghe over to Bennett. Left circle. Sends it back over to Forsby. A deep shot deflection. Skinner took care of that. Panthers keep it just for only 4 Oilers have 6. Pass across. 2 off the handle for Tkachuk. And it's about a stick. Will either go to the bench or get a new twig from the equipment manager as Draisaitl falls down. It is Verhaeghe, the ex-Spoke 2020 Stanley Cup champion, and Sam Bennett, double team, one of which was Spoke coming in. Here's a 2-on-1. Here's Verhaeghe across, but sticking away there by Spoke, but out his side. Across there, Senko. Good save there by Skinner and Brandon Brodeur. Big collects. There's a penalty against Edmonton. As McDavid touches up, the Panthers onto the man advantage. They enter the 34 penalty kill streak from the Oilers in this series in Game 2.
Well, let me say this as a jump right in. Again, it was a good start for Edmonton off that first shot. Then things got very physical. Darnell Nurse found himself in the box as he hit Bennett up high, and then chaos ensued everywhere as Florida was launching chances. But man, oh man, that was a double team vicious hit.
Yeah, gentlemen, the Florida that we've seen in the first 3 games of this series and throughout the playoffs have shown up, at least if you're asking me. Sam Bennett doing some excellent work. He took a hard hit right there, drawing that penalty. Multiple excellent scoring opportunities. And boy, it looks like he took a knee-to-knee shot right there. He might be in some pain. But we're about 2 minutes in here, and things are getting exciting already. Florida, big opportunity.
Oh boy, gentlemen, it looks like Bennett's going back to the room, and they might be figuring out whether this is a major.
Yeah, they are right now. So Chris Rudy made the call that the 5-minute major is under review. We talked about what happened in Game 2 between Warren Fogle and Eetu Luostarinen on that 5-minute major. Second time that we've seen a knee penalty here. But the question is it 5 or is it 2 from Darnell Nurse?
Boy, either way, listen, and John, you and I have covered games before. We always talk about when we see dangerous plays, whether or not there's intent. I think Nurse is coming in with his elbow and shoulder looking to make it, but you just cannot leave your leg out there like that, especially the way these are getting called now. And I do believe we have a result. Alec, did you get the final?
For tripping.
Great, thank you. Yeah, Nurse has been much eager. He's got that big contract. A lot of Edmonton fans, hockey fans in general, feel like so not a great start for Darnell.
No, it's not. Why does 16 in the playoff run he's had tied for the worst most in a single playoff run with Sam Reinhart as the Panthers? They're on the man advantage. 15 seconds have been killed off. It's Barkov lead the way. Left side for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe double team. He'll fend it off over to the far side for the waiting Sam Reinhart. Set one down low for Barkov. Verhaeghe fires his glove down by Stu. 27 seconds.
Hey, that's a Skinner. That was a fever pitch type of bullet there as Verhaeghe was all alone and accounted for near the left side dot. It looks like the puck movement's been solid early for the Panthers.
Yeah, John, I will say what I just saw from the reaction from Verhaeghe right there is I think he thought it might be 1-0 for his side. Skinner with a really right there, and that's what good goalies do, right? You make it look easy when the moment's really big, and that was a good stop.
1-4-9 on the man advantage are the Panthers in this. So they're really good on the man advantage. The Edmonton Oilers, their numbers are better, but they have not scored a lot ever since the Vancouver series. Verhaeghe over the near corner. Verhaeghe helping out his two guys. Matthew Tkachuk holds it, shows up high, rebound. How did that not go in? Inside the cage. How in the world did the Panthers not score there? Should be 2-0 by almost goals. It's loose out in front. Run to Edmonton. And they get this one out. Here's Connor Brown walking on 2-on-1. Brown holds it. Raymond Roman moves it from the score. Short-handed magic for the TNT mark. And 1-0 the Oilers lead.
Go ahead and take it, Cooper.
Well, just unbelievable stuff here. That is exactly what you want if you are the Edmonton Oilers. You make a mistake, give up a penalty, you're down a man. Guess what? You turn the tables. Alec, you nailed it right on the head. Should be 1-0 here with celebrations in Sunrise, Florida at this moment. Well, guess what? In Wild Rose Country, in the heart of Alberta, they are cheering right now. Well, not if you're a Flames fan, but everyone else is rooting for those Oilers. They just turned this thing on its head. What a start.
I got to tell you one thing. Perfectly on that side of the right post. I'm not sure how they didn't score, but didn't Edmonton just activate at the perfect time to start that breakout? And that was an easy finish as Bobrovsky had no chance.
Yeah, he had, because Brandon Montour swept him off his feet. No chance for Bobrovsky to stop that Montour. He slipped at the worst possible timing to allow a shorthanded goal. Over to the far side, Bennett on the entry. Mark from Brown on the 2-on-1. It looked like Brown was going to shoot. Montour defended that well, but as he was sliding, that was when Montour collided right into Bobrovsky, and that gave Bobrovsky zero leverage on the shot. And the Oilers, another penalty kill. Here's Vogel, and on the drop pass, and some contact there on Sam Bennett as the Panthers walk this back in. Tarasenko, guess who's out there to intercept that? None other than Connor McDavid. McDavid end-to-end, far side. You take this one in on the rush. McDavid trying to split that best. Excellent defense. Collected by the ex-Islander Kyle Poso, Matthias Ekholm, calling for something, and a call here. Kyle Poso may be in the midst of it.
Are we getting another penalty against the Panthers?
Wow, I believe so, John. It looks like Poso is disappointed. Not exactly sure what we're getting, but Paul Maurice looks frustrated as well. The Oiler fans are cheering. Let's see if we can get some more details. Boy, thanks.
Oh my goodness. There were 6 guys on the Panther end of the ice. That was the penalty.
Boy, oh boy. Again, Florida right now, I don't want to say needs to the opportunity in this game and kill this off because they're up 3-0 in the series, but this is a big moment early.
Oh, I don't want to be extra here, but listen, the Oilers are not a team you want to give any breathing room at all. You must snuff them out at any opportunity. If the Oilers get one, if they get this W tonight, I don't know. It starts to feel like the momentum really shifts big time.
And you'd wonder if, just like the Celtics before them, that the Panthers need to adjust due to Oilers' desperation. It's a good shot block there from Eetu Luostarinen. He was hurt. In game 2, came back on, but he is hobbling at 98 miles an hour. Keep an eye on those Bouchard one-timers. McDavid spins, drops back to the ever-so-dangerous Bouchard. Give it go, and bending on the pass was McDavid. Is he going to get his stick onto it? He's coached out by Stanley. So go back over to RNH. 117 on a man advantage. Bouchard waits for this. Then Stuart Skinner gives the puck to him. And they'll restart this rush. No power play goals for the Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. And Draisaitl, David End to the far side. Entry feed. To the Nuge. The drop pass. Bouchard. Walks with this. Over to the high slot. Fires. Blocked in front. The Nuge rushing back onto this. Steven Lawrence tied him up. Well, it's Alexander Barkov who tied him up. So I got the jersey wrong, and now do the near half boards is Draisaitl. McDavid off for Hyman. Draisaitl holding near corner. Got it back over to Bouchard. He thinks out Reinhardt. And the left side over to Dry. Drop it back over to Bouchard. Waiting with this. Danuch. Bouchard again. Walking the point. Draisaitl set up at the left circle. Now back down low over to CMD. 20 on the man advantage. McDavid continues. So Draisaitl, high shot. He gets it back. The pass blocked. Another try. A first look at it. Bobrovsky, he lost his stick. And we have a stoppage here as Bobrovsky's stick was way out. We have something in the midst of it.
Well, there is the energy that you got to love right now for the Edmonton Oilers. And Alec, what did we say over the last couple games? The adjustment that Edmonton wanted to make. Shoot the puck when you're on the power play. Don't try to get too cute. That one hit the outside of the post from Draisaitl as they were firing away, and Bobrovsky was almost dead to rights.
Wow, this is intense stuff here, gentlemen. Really capitalizing here. Florida teetering just a bit. Look, we know how momentum can shift in hockey very quickly, but Edmonton still some time here on this power play and looking like the better team, at least tonight. Good stuff.
So far, so good for them. Even if they don't score this power play, they do have the early edge because they advantage on special teams. They're all glad that was sticked away from him on the shot. And then Alexander Barkov coming back in for the near side. Making up dart on Earth. Tight shot. Went off the pass of Skinner. It's Foley collecting this. Around the near boards, bouncing up and about. The Panthers have officially killed out 43 of their last 45 penalties. What's good to Oilers PK is, let's give a shout out to the Panthers county kill for a tremendous job well done surviving. So for Bobrovsky, while he didn't hold on to the puck on the last possession as the puck came loose at the last moment, you want to wonder if this could be potentially a Nashville dilemma as the Panthers uncharacteristically ice it.
Yeah, they're trying to survive right now within this first 7 minutes. Again, it's only a one-goal game. It feels like it could already be 2-1 on the side of it. There's been so many tremendous chances. So many posts hit already, and then just a rush the other way finishes it out for the Edmonton Oilers. I think we go into our.
And that was so close for the Panthers twice. They hit the post twice on the man bench. We're not going to break right away. Even though we are 6 minutes and 49 seconds removed, it's a tie about the draw. The Panthers get it and moved up by Verhaeghe, Mr. Clutch, with 5 playoff overtime winners. Third on the NHL's all-time list. Around for Echo. Can't handle it as it's too hot for him. Reinhardt for Barkov. Tapped it back over to the point. Montour shot bouncing around off the skate. By Ekman Larson, but not for much longer as they went on to the far side for Bouchard. There's a loose stick on the ice, and it's a race for the puck. Way out of reach for Dylan Holloway, and they're pushing and shoving. Force swipe in between him and Ekman Larson.
Tensions are high, aren't they, Mr. Hopkins?
Yeah, this is a stat that we say is not necessarily the be all and end all, but looking at those who are -1 for the Florida Panthers, that includes none other than number 9, Chuck. He was out there when the Edmonton Oilers scored. Now, what you want to see, you want to be going the other way. So I'm sure he's going to want to try to get that one back, at least get back to 0 and help his team score here. But Florida still on their heels at this point.
It's for sure here in Game 4 to adjust to the Oilers' desperation. That's what they do, just like what the Celtics need to do in Game 5 at TD Garden of the NBA Finals. This one sent back to the Florida zone, and this deep pass cut off by Bouchard, but Anton. Florida waiting for the entry. They'll just backhand this one through as one Panther was offside, but trying to get this one through. Matthias Ekholm, far side, got it out. And a stumble up here comes the Oilers along the far side. Janmark trying to curl and drag through. He's having pass up front. They score! Adam Henrique on his return to the Stanley. Welcome back.
Honesty. I know we might have saw some of these things from Edmonton in Game 3. Honestly, this looks like played Edmonton team that we've seen so far throughout this series, and they need more. You cannot stop.
No, you cannot. And listen, I will be completely honest, gentlemen. I thought that the Edmonton effort to get Game 3 just back to 4-3 final score. I thought fighting back from that multiple goal deficit was really all that Edmonton had left in the tank. I think the three of us and the rest of the hockey world thought that we'd seen basically everything the Oilers could muster. Well, guess what? Incorrect. They are bringing it tonight. They look good. They look confident. They are playing as a team. And Bobrovsky, all of a sudden, human. He's been left out to dry a couple of times.
His first goal in the and a well-timed goal for Adam Henrique to score here on the Stanley Cup final. The Panthers trying to answer a bouncing puck right in front. On the near side, out inside, OEL. Deep shot, the puck up front. The Oilers swipe it away. Rodrigues held it in. A one-timer deep from OEL. Blocked inside. This comes back to Erod. Going drag. Off the boards. Rodrigues on the hold. Cuts away to the front. And then some bowling pins right here. Several bodies fall down. Formed up. At the near side. Looking for his first goal in the final. Draisaitl cut off as he received the feed from Corey Perry. Goes back to him. Perry, a shot right on Sergei Bobrovsky. As he covers up, he wanted to go after Dmitry Kulikov. Perry.
Boy, oh boy, this is a heck of a start here for Edmonton. And again, it seems like they're also trying to bring in a little bit of the fisticuffs to Florida. They're bringing in the offense. They're kind of closing down some lanes. They're fighting for it, even when Florida had a chance near that side of the post against Skinner. Just collapsing bodies everywhere. What a start this has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does seem like classic playoff hockey choices here being made by the Panthers. It seems like it's the only card in their hand right now, which I'm referring to them turning up that physicality. Alec, you made that great call. There was some fisticuffs after the play had been whistled dead, and I think it's just maybe a bit of shock, a little surprise for Florida. I don't, but by no means do I think that they thought things would be. I believe that they thought they would convert a couple of those very early scoring chances, as did we. I mean, how close can you get? You're an inch or two away at maximum, not once but twice. And then the tables turn in a dramatic fashion. That is tough. You take those body blows, not one but two now, as they are down a couple of goals. Pretty rowdy home crowd here at Rogers Place. Things are going to be, let's put it this way, guys, it's going to be a steep hill to climb, I think.
Yeah, it is, because the decibels are only going to peak a little bit louder each time. And again, you get more secondary goal scoring. That's all it's been for the Oilers right now, is you get Janmark and Henrique. But if they continue this going, they have a good chance. And dare I say it, as much with a 2-goal lead, don't want to make mistakes any other way to all gun out for all offense here. But it might be even important that Edmonton probably gets one more in this one, just to try to push the Panthers away as much as possible. Hey, at this point, it might not be our night. I know it's crazy for me to say with 11:21 in the first, but if they can get a couple more here, Florida might have to back off and hold the guns to Tuesday.
They may, because two sweeps, we may not fathom that, but a gentleman's sweep may be more acceptable in a sense, but we should not count out the Oilers' sense of desperation into the factor, nor about this crowd noise. It may not be the loudest house in hockey as that honor goes to the loudest tonight, hoping to force a Game 5 down at Hammer Bank Arena, and so far they're up 2-0. Perhaps the dream could come true. Anthony, it is rival top, Bennett front, deflected in front by Derek Ryan, turned away by Sergei Bobrovsky. Goes back to the play, just held at the line. At the right play, Bennett went in front, Ryan off a skate, out inside by Darnell Nurse, deep shot, friendly fired away. Verhaeghe holds. Verhaeghe looks to get out and does. It's Ekblad, the first pick of 2014. Over to Philip Brodeur, post out by Sam Bennett, the fourth pick of set trap. Mappy gets shot, post out by Brodeur at the far corner. Oilers are back with this. This is cleared up, and the Panthers will restart. Late pass up for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe, silenced by Bouchard, out. And restarting is Reinhardt, pick number 2. So when we see pick number 3, Draisaitl, up for Verhaeghe, and a drop pass over. EL. He is backed up by Hyman. Over to the near corner. Hyman shuts him down, and Barkov will help him out. Reinhardt sent it through, and Dmitry Kulikov. All people lead the rush. To the far side. This is set on goal, and it's kicked out by Skinner. No rebound left behind as Connor McDavid picked it up. McDavid David, give and go as that shot did not make it all the way through to the net. It's behind the net and around over to the near boards. Rodrigues cut it off, and it goes for Sasha in the bars. Reinhardt and the feed over to Brodeur, kicked out by Skinner. No rebound as Bouchard has it. The first multi-goal lead in the series for the Oilers, and by that margin in the finals as they ice it.
I'm not trying to be funny, gentlemen, here, but I'm saying this in all honesty. Who is this Edmonton team that we're watching? I don't even recognize them.
Yeah, this is a different type of game from the Edmonton Oilers. And you know what? We talked about it. The whole world talks about it. But Connor McDavid, I mean, he picks up the puck at his own end. First of all, clears a that was sitting on a tee. Panther, who was descending on a near depth between the circles, picks up that puck. The corner, it looks like he is doing a fastest lap competition at the All-Star game. My goodness, the speed. I never get tired of it. What a player.
You know, never so tiresome when you're watching a generational talent like him. Of course, you want to watch the highlights of him, and the kids, they want to emulate their game after him as the Panthers ice it, but nonetheless, when you watch a generational talent like McDavid, like McKinnon, like Crosby, those who look up to those guys, they want to emulate their game after those guys.
And we mentioned a little bit going into the preview show, I know it was a long time ago now, that the first period is a spot where Edmonton normally takes advantage. Again, the first time they've had a multi-goal lead in this series, 9:14 left to go in the first. How many more can they get? It's an offensive zone draw for the Oilers.
Oh, sorry, Alec. Go ahead. I'm stepping on you. Absolutely. Okay, take it away.
Oh, no, you were about to say something. We had a full start the base off.
No, jump in. I'll save it. I got you.
Oh, man. This is clear. He'll be gloved down by Cody Ceci. He'll take it up to Connor McDavid at the Scotiabank logo. Twisted throw as he walks in. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins walks. The drop pass over to Ceci. Give it go. Here's Draisaitl in the near corner. Draisaitl. He was closed off for 1 point. Ceci, a deep shot was blocked. Now to center. Here's Dry. Backed up in his own zone. Draisaitl with Lundell Pinchy. Draisaitl. Stowe chasing after Lundell. He got it and forced a takeaway. Here's Luostarinen inside. Lundell. Sideways stopped by Ceci. Can't take away with this. Gustav Forsberg deep shot. Score! It was deflected! Vladimir Tarasenko gets the Panthers within one.
Take it away, Cooper.
My goodness. Looking at the shot board, gentlemen, I noticed that it was dead even. I was thinking to myself, hey, the Panthers have been pushed back here. They've been pushed what felt like to the brink, but they are still getting opportunities. And Alec, thank you for being patient with me. I was going to say, hey, I'm looking at a player like Sam Bennett, who had a great early start to this game, really solid couple of first shifts. And I thought to myself, who is going to be the player? It could be Bennett or someone else to step up and change the tide here. Well, guess what? Leave it to the wily veteran with tons of skill still in that tank. It's Tarasenko making it look good. And man, what a deflection. Onto the ice, over the left pad, and they cut the lead in half. That is huge.
Absolutely insane stuff. And Alec, before you jump back into it, that third line, you know what I'm going to say? Back in business again.
Yeah, that was the third line who got the recent goal for the Panthers. Arguably, they've been the best line of the Stanley Cup final among the four lines. You can make it argument. These other lines have been just as effective, especially with Evan Rodrigues, no matter where he's at, whether he the second line or the first line. Every line that he has been, he has delivered. It was loose. And the Panthers up high into the air. Brodeur gets bumped. And it's a bump and runs. It works. Sam Bennett with Gardner Verhaeghe. The pass across. The one-timer. Stuart Skinner got back on time.
No way.
You've got to be kidding me, boys. This is real finals hockey now. That is a save for the ages. You will see that on Oiler highlights until we are no longer breathing air, boys. That is a big stop.
There was the whole side of the right side of the bar, all side of the ice, all open, and somehow Skinner gets all the way over, gets a piece of it with his arm as we go to break. My, oh my, what a save.
A signature save from Skinner, and guess what? No rebound.
Nope.
That is elite stuff. Boy, give Skinner his credit. Huge stop. Should be 2-2. Unreal.
Well, Alec, before you jump in here, I just want to say that I'm happy to be able to give you the first period because I know you took a little bit of a hand grenade yesterday as far as the game, the bill right now. Again, I was making some thoughts and aspirations for Florida about whether they have to bounce back and whether they should hold off. Again, that's a nasty tip goal. And then an unbelievable save. Gentlemen, we're right in the middle of game 4, and this has been amazing.
Yeah, it has been. It's lived up to every aspect of the hype here in the first period. Short-handed goal. We have 2 even strength goals, one from the Oilers utters with Adam Henrique and Vladimir Tarasenko on a grade A deflection, showcasing what he did back with St. Louis as a natural goal scorer.
Yeah, and guys, listen, this is a pretty simple analogy. It's not like I'm the first times, but it's the one that comes to mind. Already feels like a heavyweight battle here where defense has gone out the window and these boys are just swinging haymakers back and forth. You can tell, especially on the side of the Oilers, that offense is at premium. They want to put the puck behind the goaltender across from them. They've been able to do that so far. And then now the Florida Panthers seemingly out of nowhere pull one back. Should have had another there. It could even be 3-2 Panthers.
Yeah.
Early, but my goodness, this thing is really going back and forth, and it's starting to get heated, and I can expect a lot more as we continue.
Take it away, Alec.
The first period, Matthias Janmark from Connor Brown, Adam Henrique from Janmark and Matthias Ekholm, and Vladimir Tarasenko from Gustav Forsling. Your goal scores here. It is a 2-1 Oiler lead. The Oilers had their first multi-goal lead of the Stanley Cup final. That's now gone. Alexander Barkov from the far side. Center out. Made his way over to the far side, away from Skinner. Moved out in front. The Oilers trying to clear. Good hold by the Panthers from Evan Rodrigues, who got their back on time. Right to one. Hard half boards. Iced it. And we'll have a face-off all the way back at Edmonton's ice.
Yeah, again, and Cooper, I don't mean to say it, this points that you made, it kind of feels like Edmonton wants to play this with the hellacious pace, as you know that they do, but they feel comfortable at home, and you make it feel like a regular season back and forth. I understand there's so much intrigue back and forth to go across, but they're lucky to be able to score some goals. They feel good. They want to play at this pace, and if they can continue this is going to be.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we're going to have to keep an eye on these goaltenders. Also, just going to keep an eye on the focus level of both teams. There's so much passion and just the blood flowing through the veins right now. Got to stay in and on their game. Strategy is going to matter.
Yes, it is.
It is going to matter, especially up against that man who's out there onto the ice. Especially for Kris Knoblauch, was not won against the Panthers in his young coaching career, over 5, including playoffs.
Yeah, John, just before you respond, it's interesting, Alec, you point out Kachuk. I mean, why wouldn't you? But you know what? He hasn't been necessarily the real driver of play here in the final. I'm interested to see if he steps up and really gets a highlight for himself this game.
And just like his high school classmate and best friend, Jason Tatum, who is both of them have largely taken knowing that they have a supporting cast that can help them out. But Tatum took over in Game 3 in the first half and did the most of the scoring in Game 4 for the Celtics, but it was otherwise a big dud for the Seas just last night. It is Philip Broberg at the Panthers zone. Several instances of pushing and shoving against that pass. Went way wide of Darnell Nurse. Skinner to go way out of his crease. Divine Nurse. 5 great scoring chances for the Panthers as Sergei Bobrovsky is calling for his icing and gets.
Hey, normally I would make a lot of comments about icings and the amount that we've had, but honestly, the way this game's going, I don't think these goaltenders mind it all too much.
No, I don't think they mind it either. And I will point out, look, this is not the sexiest stat here, guys, but when it comes to faceoffs, at least early in this game here with a little under 7, Oilers looking good on the faceoff dot, just about 65%, so winning 2/3 of those. So when they get that faceoff, you got to think that they're feeling pretty good about their chances.
And speaking of that, was won by Anton Lundell as it came loose right in front. It lands onto Stuart Skinner's breadbasket.
That third line, again, manufacturing a lot. Alec mentioned it again. It's everybody that's been doing damage. But what I like about Luostarinen and Lundell on that side in the mix with Tarasenko is you get the sniper and you got 2 guys in behind. Cause chaos, force the Oilers defense to move. That's another offensive zone draw.
Yeah, and just fair warning for you boys as well. As you probably noticed, I am a little bit behind here on my stream, probably by about 7 or 8 seconds, so apologies if I'm stepping on you. I'll try to keep it short.
This anti-offensive zone face-out, a false start is going to be against CMD. You'll have to come out in the place of RNH. Don't do this over again. So we're still waiting for the signal, and now the puck is dropped. It is won by Edmonton with help from Ekholm and lead the way. Guess who it is? Connor McDavid. Can't split it. Excellently defended by Aaron Ekblad. Moved around. Right behind the net. Over to Luostarinen, who sends one over to cross ice by Vladimir. And makes his way over to Skinner. That was dangerous for the Tarasek show.
I don't blame you on that one, Alec, because I'm looking to see who had the puck initially. Again, it was the new line mate of the Fogle. Looked like he had Connor McDavid's speed. That's why they threw him on there. He was trying to toe drag between everybody.
Oh, you're trying to confuse me for the jersey numbers, aren't you, John?
Oh, that's what they threw out there. I thought I saw Fogle, but I could have been wrong.
All I know, boys, is I saw Forsling make a nice play. McDavid first into the zone on that one. Really poke check there, but Panthers, they almost got caught right there by 97. He can do that to you.
He can, certainly can do. Known for his ability to split defenses, and of course, he almost did so there. If you remember that one gorgeous goal he had against the New York Rangers, where he split by 4 defenders and found it back in the net. That's a goal. 6:18 to go in the first period as this one cleared out the center. Moved forward by OEL and chopped forward again. This goes over to the near corner where it's Ekholm. Brace himself for contact. This one goes over to the right point, chopped out by Edmonton. But Florida where we start. Sam Reinhart for the near boards. Skinner will let this one go. It is Kulikov on behind the net. Now at the near corner, Reinhart. He'll look from the left circle. Fires one blocked off. This goes over back to the near corner, and Bouchard fires. And the Panthers will have another look to the right of Skinner.
I wonder who this is starting to favor now at some point. But again, they show it. Oilers goal scorers in this series. Ekholm, Fogle, Broberg, McLeod, Janmark, and Henrique. 11 combined goals entering series. All from the names on the bottom 6 portion of defensive part. Florida has done an excellent job throughout this series, taking away that top line. But is it going to continue? Well, it can if Edmonton wants to extend it.
It is Steven Lawrence off the face-off when Brandon Montour lost an edge, was caught on his own shoes, on his legs, and now taken away. Here's Hyman or Brown. Janmark got sandwiched. Brown tries to find the open man in front. Montour got back on time defensively. It is Steven Lawrence over to the far side. The board's chopped around. Okposo can't get it and cleared out by Florida. It's a foot race, and Skinner tracked Lawrence perfectly. He fell down. Kevin Stanley trying to shut down Matthias Janmark. A goal and assist for him. Trying to split the defense. Dylan Holloway scores! Edmonton 3, Florida 1.
This is a shootout at the OK Corral, gentlemen. What action we've seen. Dylan Holloway puts it away.
For sure it is. What a gorgeous goal. He's coming in with that blazing speed. And look, McDavid. It kind of looked like McDavid there.
Yeah, absolute fantastic stuff from Holloway. He's getting those fist bumps, and he deserves them. Way to finish right there. Had to be deft with the hands. Came in with the speed. John, it's that trailer, right? You think you're sealing off one side at that wall, and you cut off that angle, or so that back pass makes its way through. What a development here. The Oilers look absolutely 100% motivated. They're finishing their opportunities. Beautiful sight by Draisaitl. Vision on the ice. Finds his teammate. Back to a 2-goal advantage.
Take it away, Alec.
Leon Draisaitl has just his first point of the strike and get on the score sheet. And while he's not scored, and neither have McDavid, Bouchard, Hyman, or Nugent-Hopkins, and it was the perfect time for Draisaitl on the point sheet as Forsling is cut off by RNH. Aaron Ekblad too far for Sam Bennett to go back for center, and Brodeur flies her over the near boards. On the far side, recollected by Nico Mikwa. Zach Hyman watching. It is Ekblad out over the center, bouncing puck over to the Edmonton zone. Lundell tied up several points. It's bounced off of Skinner. RNH chopped it away over to Hyman. Nico Mikko was right there and moved forward by Edmonton, but back in on the way was Luostarinen. That third line that you mentioned, John, time and time again, arguably the best fourth line by the Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. And they can be so deadly on the forecheck and even defensively, knowing defensive presence in Lundell and a big tall man in Luostarinen. It is Luostarinen, Julian. the right point. Ekman Larson mishandled as it went off his skate and tried to split to the was Connor McDavid. He might have drawn a penalty here, and he has. As Brodeur touches up and clears out, the arm is still up in the air, still grabbed by. As the arm is still up, and we finally get the whistle. Are the Oilers going to go into the power play? It appears they may be.
Yeah, it does appear that way, Alec. I think that what I was expecting to see through the latter portion of this first period has not come to pass. And what I mean by that is it looked like Florida had gotten this game to be a little choppier. There were some icings on the Edmonton side. I thought we might see a tie game. Well, it's gone the other way. Edmonton really capitalized. These are razor-thin margins, boys. I mean, the Florida Panthers missing by mere inches during opportunities. That's what matters in the Stanley Cup final. If you don't put it home, the other team's going to come and get you. And boy, have the Oilers come to get the Panthers tonight.
It's a simple thing for me as we're in the middle of the commercial break now, and it's a 3-1 lead for the Oilers with 3:44 left in the first. So Alex definitely had the brunt of the play-by-play. A lot of magnificent goal calls. But it's a big difference for me for the Oilers to say this. It's not just in the 3 games to see them score goals and actually see them with a 2-goal lead. It's the way that they've driven the net. It's the way that they've pushed around the Florida Panthers defense a little bit. Have to kind of fall back into his net. Now, we've seen Bobrovsky kind of with those skate blades fall a little bit in this series, but a lot of those are off of long shots, maybe some contestants and rebounds. These ones are on ones. They're drives to the net. It's beating the defense. This is what you have to do if you want to score goals in the Stanley Cup Finals. This is a check mark.
Sure thing it is. A check mark for the Oilers on their offensive game plan, pressing on goals off the rush, and they're getting the upper hand on Janmark on the 2-on-1. Adam Henrique on the 3-on-2. Dylan Holloway on the trailer off the 2-on-1 as Gustav Forsling tried to play too much towards Leon Draisaitl. And in terms of penalties, we're not going to get one. It was actually an offside call that ensued this whistle. So we stayed 5-on-5, but so far so good for Edmonton.
And again, I want to just talk about this real quick before Cooper jumps in. How important was that goal for Florida? Because if they're down 3-0, we could have a completely different narrative. They're still into this as long as they can get back to the dressing room within 2.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're on the other side of what they gave to Edmonton the other night, where it was a 4-1 game. They had to hold them off.
Right.
That might be what the Oilers have to do now.
Yeah, the Oilers' beneficiary of this icing as Florida will be stuck at their defensive end. A -4 first period goal differential in this postseason, but do note it's +25 the rest of the way. So you can imagine that they may be unfazed about that first period.
Is Bobrovsky getting some chance from the Rogers Place crowd?
He is right now. Speak of that, you don't see this often where Bobrovsky's getting serenaded by fans, but do remember in the 5-game series, the only game that Tampa won was Game 4. Nico Mikla, Amelie, comes back over to Reinhart, and a shot up high. It was off of Skinner's blocker. He got a piece of it, and the Oilers recollect. Connor Brown over to the far side, race for the puck, smartly dumps it over to the left circle as Nico Mikla recollects. Back over behind the net as Montour is waiting. Montour's previous defensive partner, keep in mind this, it was Mark Stahl last year, but it's a good thing for veteran leadership to have Montour grow to the player where he is today as an offensive-minded defenseman. OEL holds to the point off the key. This one deflected up high, and it's Bennett behind the net, trying to grab it opposite Cody Ceci. Tangled up, so was Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk back over to the left point. Kulikov just held it in, still up in the air, and Draisaitl lost his stick. No breakaway will come for him as OEL will recollect it over his own end. Gardner Verhaeghe lost it on the handle. Cody Ceci right around. Shot forward by Dylan Holloway, our recent goal scorer. 2:22 as Holloway got by OEL, and on the rush here's Tarasenko. Slowed up by the Nuge with Draisaitl on the rush. RNH takes it away, giving it right back over to Broberg, and back behind over to the near corner, it is Ceci. Ceci moves it up. Corey Perry up for the lane. Far side, tipped in by Ryan, and it'll be Luostarinen on the first period. Through the far side, Florida trying to move this one through. Side one stopped by McLeod, but it's recollected now. I believe it's a tangle up, bro, at the near corner. Oilers still hold. go, but Luostarinen wants to hold it in the Oilers zone. Gustav forcing. This was deflected off Ryan's stick. Did not make his way in. Nurse spanned on the clear. Tie up over at the far half boards. In no man's land. Lundell, Okposo, Ekblad there. Nurse trying to get it. Still tied up at no man's land. Poke free a second time. This goes over to Okposo. Cycled over to the left point for forcing. One time across Lawrence. Ban on it. And recollected by Nurse. With 1:15 to go. Settled down by Edmonton. Touched by Florida at center ice. The Oilers tried to whack it into the Panthers zone. That was McLeod, but Forsling settles it over to Ekblad. Back to Forsling. And the cycle inside. To Rodrigues with 1 minute to go. Deflected from Gorkov. And Skinner turned that one away. And Brodeur, who was outside the zone, fires this one inside. It'll be settled down at center ice with 50 to go on a puck battle at the sin bin side. Fold tapped aside. This will be on over to the near corner of the Panther zone. Brodeur backhanded one away. Here's Ron. And settled back down by Ekholm. Giving a crossover to Bouchard. Bad pass. Here is Reinhardt walking this one through. Ekholm goes it up. Ekholm taps it forward. Sam Bennett, far corner. Back behind that. Reinhardt can't handle it. Bouchard can. He'll fire it across. Over to Zach Hyman. Hyman finds CMD. Double team sandwiched up. Erod through the far side. Over to Reinhardt with 12 to go. Sam Reinhardt, who slapped this right onto Stuart Skinner. He'll fight this one out back behind the net. 5 seconds to go. Bouchard will fire this one out. The Florida Panthers will just run this out. And the Blues, after their best first period of the Stanley Cup Final, 14 straight playoff wins, when they score 3 or more in the first period, they lead 3-1.
What's your immediate thoughts, Cooper?
Well, this is the Edmonton Oilers team that I think every one of those fans thought they were going to see. Not. And you know what? It is a classic case of better late than never. This is what I was alluding to in my opening remarks. You cannot play past the point of controlled and intelligent hockey. You need to bring passion. You need to feel the pressure of the moment. You have to remember you're down 0-3. Let yourself become frantic. And the Oilers, to their credit, as much as it's a difficult moment for me to give it to them, but I have to because they've played so well, so composed as a team. The Draisaitl pass is one that stands out to me in this first period. Drawing defenders, knowing you're going to get attention, and trusting your teammate to finish. They've done that multiple times. It's been a couple of greasy goals, a couple of pretty ones, two and a pretty one. And gentlemen, I don't see any reason that things are going to change here if the Oilers could just maintain, the majority of the composure they've had through one. The Panthers, themselves in an unfamiliar place, they must have a lot of confidence because of the success that's brought them here, guys. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Do you think, John, you talked about this, and Alec as well, do you think that they, as we get through the second period, are going to really try to put their foot on the gas? Or do you think they might say, hey, we can win this one potentially in front of our home fans and maybe shift their mentality?
See, look, I use that line as far as the NBA because I figured that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. But in the NHL, and considering what the Panthers went through last year with all those injuries that were well done, still able to take a game against Vegas, which was almost miraculous, and then he ran into that victory lap at the end of it. I think the Panthers know what's at stake. This is going to be an important 20 minutes, and I think they're going to put all systems go and push the pedal to the metal. But the interesting part to me is this, and again, I hate to throw it back so quickly for a question, but I have to now because Cooper's in here for the first. So, look, let's say the Panthers lose this game and it goes 3-1. Well, are they doing everything that except now they've got the finishes in the back end of the pocket? Because Bobrovsky stole that one.
He did. We're seeing what we're seeing in Game 1 from the Edmonton Oilers and capitalizing on their opportunities. A 3-1 lead. You have the momentum here on throughout after one period. And yes, they're out one period, but nonetheless, the Oilers are making the most of it. Off rushes, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, trailer, off a 2-on-1 feed, though with two defenders back as Gustav forcing overplayed him. All right, onto Leon Draisaitl, and that's dangerous. Draisaitl can score, can also pass, And it's his playmaking ability that found Dylan Holloway on the trail for the third goal. The Oilers doing everything right, pushing all the right buttons. This is the first and second period in which there's time to strike. And you want to do more in the second period, perhaps more damage on that second frame, and to hold off the Panthers knowing does the bulk of their damage in the third period. That didn't happen in Game 3 because the Panthers, they relied on their defense to close out Game 3.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do here for a second, boys, just as an exercise? I'm going to put myself in the shoes of an Edmonton fan. This is not something that I would normally do, but given circumstances, let's give it a shot. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to get my hot dog, maybe cerveza right now, going to come back to my seat, knowing that my team is playing better than they have a week or so or more, and looking great at home. However, I do remember the old cliche, maybe it's creeping into the back of my mind, that 2-goal lead is one of the most dangerous leads, if not the most, in hockey. And so I'm thinking to myself, boy, if the Panthers are able to squeeze Skinner, all of a sudden I'm feeling less confident we're only up by 1. This is a pretty common question. It's kind of a media question. I'll throw it out to both of you guys. The next goal, who is it more important for? Do you think you need to see Edmonton widen that lead, really get the Florida Panthers feeling dejected? Evening this, they're not evening back up, but cutting it down to that 1-goal deficit.
Go ahead, Alec.
I feel you can make a case for both. On one end, why it was more important for the Oilers if you want to get the momentum continuing on to the second period, and you have to continue the attack from what you brought out in that first period. Continue with what you're doing. Generate looks off the rush. Do what has been successful for you in that first period. And look what is open for you. So that's the Oilers case. Oilers case for why it's more important. So your backs are against the wall in the finals for the first time. So you're facing an opportunity to sweep your opponent. You want to press the right buttons and get guys to the front of the net. That's what Vladimir Tarasenko did. That's what Evan Rodrigues did in Game 2. Say Sam Bennett in Game 3, as we mentioned about getting guys to the front of the net. Look for open tip-in looks. Look for the dirty areas of the ice. Something that they've done so well is to do all the dirty work right onto the ice, and they have succeeded on all fronts. So I'm making cases for both sides. I'm not going to say which one is more important because I think it's even leverage for both sides on which goal is more important.
So, Cooper, I'm going to say this because I'm not throwing Alec under the bus because he gave you the smart answer. I'm going to go ahead and say this. It's 1,000% more important for the Edmonton Oilers because, look, we talk about it in Game 1 in the sense of what could have happened. Bobrovsky stole the show. You wanted to be able to dictate and dominate a little bit and kind of subjugate the Panthers a little bit, make them feel pressure for the first in the net. But as you said, it's got to be controlled fury coming in from that intermission because if you make careless mistakes, the Panthers, oh, by the way, could end up tying this one after 2 as we sit at the end of 1, 3-1 for Edmonton. It's very important for them that they get it done. And then just make sure if you can get there and get to Tuesday, you know that you have to do this all over again. There is no carryover good feeling anymore. That goodwill died after the first 2 games. You've got to repeat it and start from scratch if you get there again on Tuesday.
Excellent points, gentlemen, both of you. I like that. Alec, you taking that analytical approach, thinking about what these teams do well, what makes them unique, how they can capitalize on these opportunities, and taking what Alex said and building upon it, thinking about that emotional part of the game, right? Which we're lying to ourselves if we're saying that either team can take themselves completely out of it. You got a heartbeat in your chest. You know that feeling. The Panthers know how close they are, and the Oilers know how far away they are, and that's motivating them in very unique ways. So it's just going to be fascinating here. I'm looking forward to jumping on this second period, and I'm glad. Thank you so much for sharing the time. Alex, you absolutely crushed it, as always, in period number 1. You got to see some goal scoring. I hope it continues as well because, both of you make excellent points. The Oilers need to, I think, widen this gap. You want the Panthers to feel just – you want them to be down in the dirt. You want them to get down in the muck because they've been above you.
Yes.
Forcing you down. Make them feel that feeling. That's the only way they're going to feel shaken. And if you're the Panthers, can you prove to yourself you can climb back after your opponent has their boot down on you in the mud. It's going to be really interesting as we continue.
That's well said. I love all the points across the board. I'm just going to give you the quick reset here. Alec already mentioned it as far as the twos. All of that combined with Matthias Janmark, his third shorthanded, Adam Henrique, same for him. Dylan Holloway is fourth. Leon Draisaitl gets his first point of this finals from Kulak on the latest goal. Janmark, Ekholm, Connor Brown also get assists. Stuart Skinner, what's not lost in this by any of us, excellent 13 of 14. That save off the rush there, that one's going to be remembered forever. Bobrovsky looked human a little bit, but a lot of his chances were high desperation leverage right at the net. The Oilers did what they needed to do, attack and make life difficult, not settle for the long shots. Bobrovsky only stopped 10. Of note, there was a lot of it, 14 shots to 10 for the Cats, 19 to 15 on hits, 14-10 as Cooper mentioned on the draw strength. The Oilers actually taking advantage of that. We haven't been able to say that in the series so far.
We haven't. Rarely have we been able to see that. Just briefly at the ESPN side, we saw some Oilers fans with the rap.
I love it. Got to give points for creativity. Again, this is a real lesson for me. I'm having to give so much credit and compliments to the longtime rival. But you know what? The Oilers just looking fantastic tonight. And I've said this many times. I will be fascinated to see what that first 5 minutes looks like. What version of each of these teams is going to come out of the room? No things will shift. Inevitably, we're going to get changes as the period continues. But you can set the tone in your first 3-4 shifts and really take control if you want to. Who's going to grab that and make the moment?
And Cooper, I just want to say this because I think it gives me resignation vibes for what we did a couple of years ago in the Stanley Cup final in between Colorado and Tampa, right? But it's much different for Tampa than it was for Edmonton because with McDavid and Draisaitl in comparison to a team that was going for 3 straight cup runs. They had an opportunity to try to close it off at Ball Arena and stay alive. They were able to do that, and Colorado had their first taste of trying to know what it's like to win a closeout game. Ultimately, they were able to get it done, and last stand, and sometimes desperation can bring out the best in a team, and that's what we're seeing right now.
It is.
Yeah, no question about it, John. A great reference there, and I think that's another thing we do have to point out and remind ourselves and that being in the closeout scenario, regardless of what comes before, that is a task unto itself. It is completely unique. I can't imagine, even if you're feeling supremely confident, even if your team, your opponent has yet to beat you. They got a little bit close there in Game 3, but you still sealed the deal. Incredible position. All of the math points to basically a sure thing for the Florida Panthers. But it's one thing to look at it on a screen or a piece of paper.
Right.
It's another thing to make it happen on the ice. And the Oilers, again, a nod to them, a tip of the cap to them, because they had to think that and not just think it, but believe it. It's just math. It's not us on the ice as a team. The Oilers are proving, at least for the moment, that they are besting, playing with some heart and playing smart, and the result is a 3-1 lead. Fantastic to see.
And look, I'll be the one to go ahead and say it. I'll be the mean one here in the sense of I know the players don't look at this. I know Ken Holland's not going to look at this because it's only the measure of the moment right now for the Edmonton Oilers. They got it done. But this is also for me, really, honestly, I'm just going to say it as honest as I can, an audition for next year. Because the fans are going to go into it, and again, we can have our post-mortem to be done whether today or Tuesday or whatever it's going to be as far as the Oilers and what's next. Fans will look at it in a vacuum and say, hey, we made this. There is not much for us to change on this roster. Now, to an extent, that's correct, because when you have McDavid and Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse, some of these contracts alongside Jack Campbell, there really isn't much wiggle room. But at the same time, going into the back end of it, whether it be CC, Kulak, Desharnais, Nurse, their bottom 6, what do you want to do with your goaltending? there is a lot for the Edmonton Oilers to do. And what greater motivation would you need these games to be able to keep your team together and run it back? I know that there's going to be a line for them as well. How close are they really? Can they push away from that narrative? Well, they're doing a good job in the first 20 minutes. They need a lot more of it.
And you did mention about the motivation aspect of it. That Duncan Keith, who spent one season for them 2 years ago, to not want a visit and gave him a little motivation about how it is going down 3-0 in a series. Keith himself was in that situation with the Chicago Blackhawks, and the first time around defending the Stanley Cup in Canucks. Chicago did force a game 7. I'm talking back from down 3-0. They unfortunately fell in that game 7. But it's always a tall task. Forcing a game 7 went down 3-0. But when you have a guy like Keith who's giving you a visit and talking about what it is on motivation and championship experience, it can't help a team who is down in a series.
Yeah, I can, and it better, because honestly, if you need that and you don't have any other motivation, then there really is no point to be in the locker room right now. Your motivation is to knock out the Florida Panthers and deny them their first ever Stanley Cup opportunity. Florida's been, who knows if they're going to get back here again. It's desperation alongside everybody, and I know I'm saying that in a vacuum because I am expecting the Florida Panthers to be dominant for the next several years, but that's all the motivation you really need.
Yeah, and what a great story right there, Alex. It's a great anecdote. I mean, Duncan Keith, what a and a heck of a player, dealt with his own challenges and injuries, and then just deserves a ton of respect. I'm glad that you actually didn't know about that, so I'm glad to get that story from you. And it makes me think that there's that little bit of extra, just that extra belief, knowing that you're not alone. There are players that have done it before. It can be done. You can find success after being pushed to the brink, and the Oilers have so far. I'm really interested to see, John, you've heard me say this before, right? We all have our favorite go-to sayings, and it's when somebody surprises you after an intermission, a team comes out and makes a big play, maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a hit, maybe it's killing a penalty in a big spot, and I say, somebody must have said something to someone. I'm just curious which I will be able to say that about. That's going to be something on my mind as we get set here a couple minutes away from our second period.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about in the sense of both teams in the ring, and they're fighting to the death here. That there's a lot for both of them to play for as we lead in this first intermission. This 20 minutes is really honestly important for both teams. And we'll see right now if the Oilers can jump out, maybe score another one within the first set of 10 minutes in that second period, kind of push it away. The thing for me, though, as we mentioned with the Oilers, make sure that you keep that front of the net clean. You capitalize on your chances if you continue to get some on-man rushes and continue to drive that net. You want to make sure everything you did in the first period you repeat, because let's just be honest, if we get into the third period where this is somewhat close again, we're to a lead, I only want the Oilers doing that in the last 5 minutes. They're going to find themselves in the same situation where they did against the Vancouver Canucks. Yes, they ultimately prevailed in 7, but things got very dicey doing that.
Yeah, absolutely right. 2 things I'm looking for right here. One, from the Oilers, I want to see a couple of specifics. I want to see, first, on Edmonton's side, rebound control from Skinner. Now, look, he's made that highlight reel goal, that goal save. That one's going to be one we talk about. But there have been a couple of moments with Panthers nearby. That's the job of those blue liners, clear those rebounds. Want Skinner to continue to control his rebounds as much as possible. On the other side, crazy, but bear with me. Give me a little bit of that hockey mentality. I want you to think simple. Take your time in the zone. Not forever. You got to get pucks on net, but they're ahead on the shot board right now. So maybe we can build into some set plays, the best shooting lane possible. They've had opportunities. They've had to rush their shots on net. I'm thinking back to that diving save that was put right center cut toward the heart of the goal. If that's put anywhere near a post or up top cheese, that goes in. So maybe the Panthers can take a little shot and then snipe one past Skinner.
That is true. If you are the Florida Panthers, you need to Take your time in this, but don't take too much time. You have to find the open lane if you want to get by for Stuart Skinner. You got by once on deflection. Do more of that. Get to the dirty.
So I'm excited here, Cooper. I don't know how you will be on this side. I know it's exciting for the Trio podcast, but this is an arch rival for you. At least it's a 3-0 series buffer, but have fun with the second period.
Thanks, gentlemen. I think it's going to be a fun one, and I appreciate you handing the mic over to me for this. I know you two have been really doing this work. You've been grinding through this season and this series, and we are now underway. I get to get a little taste of that. I'm going to take this mic and hopefully do you proud here as we are about 10 seconds into our second period, 3-1. Current lead for the home Edmonton Oilers, facing elimination technically in this contest, down 0-3. Wins in this final go. They must win tonight to live another day, and right now they are in a good spot to do so. So they have the puck in the neutral zone. Going to drop this one back toward the red line. It's loose now, but picked up by the Oilers. Pass across to that far wall, holding in their own end at the moment. About 35 seconds gone here. I got John out alongside me. I got Big with me, and does Cooper Hopkins on the play-by-play. And Florida Panthers trying to control right now in the neutral zone, but this puck's going to bounce into the Florida end, and we have a quick stoppage. I think that puck may have bounced into the bench, so we will have a quick rest. And guys, I know, I just want to make mention that I think I'm a little bit behind you, so thanks for bearing with me.
5-4 are the Oilers when leading after their first period in the playoffs. Not a very Oilers-like stat to point out there, given their regular season numbers are way above that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and we're going to get waved out of the circle. Draisaitl staying there for that one. We have on the Florida side Sam Bennett and I believe Matthew Tkachuk out on there, so a couple of former Flames. Had to take the chance to mention it. I'm going to take that opportunity, and we right now have a bouncing puck that far wall. It is in the offensive zone for the Panthers, but I believe it bounced out to the neutral zone side.
Again, as we get a little bit of a break here, I can just jump in and say, as we mentioned, this first 10 minutes is critical for both teams. Yes, because Edmonton's up by 2. Can they get one? Can Florida get within 1? This is what could essentially be a game here in small fragments. Are the Panthers going to be able to fight their way back in?
Especially Sam Bennett, who is back onto the ice after he took that big knee in the first period.
Yeah, Alex, that is very important for the Panthers, important for us to note. Anyone listening in, you got to know that Sam Bennett is motivated here, and there is a huge hit along the near boards. Didn't get numbers on that one, but the physical play continues, and now coming right through is McDavid, shoots and scores. It's 4-1 Oilers.
Man, oh man, that escalated quickly, didn't it, Alec?
Yeah, it did. Coast to coast as it did. It went from 0 to 100 to 200 after we saw a big hit and then a big goal of Aaron Ekblad. That could have easily been a boarding Cody against Ekblad, right, on that check from behind onto Warren Fogle. Fans be upset about that. Connor McDavid, he saw that and said, all right, I'm going to take over myself. First goal by one of our superstars that we know it now by in the Stanley Cup. Knew it was going to happen at some point, and it has.
And Cooper, I can't say this with all certainty, but maybe some of the Florida Panthers feeling themselves on the hit there. Whoops, we lost 97 off the rush.
Yeah, it's all about priorities, boys. Maybe this is what I'm talking about. Somebody said something to someone in the room. They said, hey, let's take the body. Well, they did that at the expense of the best player in the world, prioritizing what? Goal scoring. I'm going to take it myself. I'm going to make it a 3-goal lead. And it was just 1 minute and 13 seconds into the second. We are back underway now. Ekblad for the Panthers gets this one out of his own zone as the face-off in center is bounced around. And I think we're going to have an icing. Yes, we do. Boy, the Panthers looking shaky early here, really on the ropes, down 4-1, boys.
That's crazy because Hyman off the backhand, he's just essentially waiting for help, and the whole middle of the ice is exposed for Connor McDavid to go right down the chute.
Yeah, he was patient the whole way, waiting at the near half boards, waiting for his man to go down for the ice, right on the money. It was going down, coasting coast to coast like he did. He just drank an energy drink, like he is going to speed of sound like the Flash.
Oh man, he doesn't need a monster. He's a monster. He's in his heart. It's running through his veins. It's incredible stuff from McDavid, who hit almost 22 miles per hour on his partial breakaway there. And you know what? Simple. No deeks, no forehand, backhand. He said, you know what, I'm going to be better than you right now. Simple wrister, puts it over the right pad, 4-1. 14 shots for the visiting Panthers, 12 for the Edmonton Oilers. We are at 18 minutes and 10 seconds here in the second period, and we have major developments as Edmonton is really starting to run away with this one. We'll see if the Panthers can answer. They'd love to get one back here and get it back quickly. They have it in the O-zone now. Puck bounces to Skinner's right, going to be picked up right there. Sent out in front. There's a shot on. Thinking about it, hit skate. And the Oilers away with a 2-on-2. Now into the zone. And there's a shot from Fogle. No, he's got it bouncing between his skates. And this one will be into the near corner. Good job by the Florida Panthers. A bit of a scramble. And there's a slapper from the points. It's to Bobrovsky's right. On the doorstep was OEL. Luckily, he sealed off Fogle. And Fogle, gentlemen, almost made it 5-1.
Let me say this honestly, if you look at the box score right now and you see Edmonton up 4-1, people say, what's wrong with Bobrovsky? Honestly, how many of these are on him? I can't say any.
Yeah, we can't really say much about Sergei Bobrovsky, knowing that he has been holding up strong for the most part in nearly 23 minutes gone here in this game. But for the most part, it's rushes off the chances for the Oilers that which have taken the upper hand on.
So a nice clean win by Henrique right there on the faceoff. Puck bouncing in front. It's left alone in the near circle. Boy, almost picked up right there by the Oilers. Now sent across. Deflected off Bobrovsky. There's a shot from distance. I don't think Bob saw that one. And then he's upended in the blue paint. Not sure if that was his own man or an Oiler. You'd think if it were an Oiler that we'd have a call here, but play will continue. And numbers that are even, 14-14 on the shot board as we near the 17-minute mark remaining in this second period. Boy, just a few minutes are gone here, but so much has happened as the puck is slapped around the boards into the offensive end for the Oilers. Good job on the forecheck right there. Picked up, backhanded in front, bounces off of Skinner's stick. Held by the Panthers and skated down right there and tapped around by Mikkola. And the puck now behind Skinner, picked up now after it's dispossessed, and the Oilers will skate away. Panthers have numbers back this time. Not going to be a recreation of the McDavid moment. And a shot goes harmlessly off of the right pad of Bobrovsky. So 16.5 to go here. Side, the Alec and the John, you know them, you love them. They've been doing this whole finals, and I'm just happy to be jumping in right here, despite the scoreline, no matter what you might know about me and the team that I root for. But it is a 4-1 Edmonton show so far. Panthers really have yet to answer in a major way. Down goes Ekblad behind Bobrovsky. The puck's going to scoop all the way back down. Sort of a wild play as Cece's going to backhand this one along to the near corner on his own end of the ice. Panthers really doing a forecheck here. Stan Bennett and his crew are on the ice right now. Great forehand backhand. There's a nice dispossession right there. And I think we may have a shoulder issue for Cece. He looks like he's sent back to the bench after a check. He didn't go down to the ice, but did let that left hand sort of by the hip right there. I'm going to keep an eye on number 5 in blue and orange. Now 2-on-1 for the Oilers. There's a shot from Draisaitl. Big save by the blocker of Bobrovsky. And another one comes through the right post. Boy, the Oilers are everywhere right now. Panthers have yet to figure this one out. 15:35 here as the Panthers are going to skate this one ahead. Going to be picked up right there and sent from the near corner behind Skinner. Now being skated along by Stanley. Nick that forcing, excuse me. Panthers trying to hold in, cannot do so. It's going to be floated all the way down. Nice job right there. The puck is caught and moved along by Holloway. Now the puck in the far corner. The Panthers will come away with it. It's going to go all the way down, deflected, no icing, as Skinner comes out of his crease, plays that puck on the forehand. The big paddle. Boy, I continue to say it, boys. Big forecheck by the Panthers has yet to pay off. There's a drop pass right there, and it is 5-1, gentlemen. The Oilers running away with this thing, and Nurse gets it back for his team right there. A bad penalty in the first, just made up for it with a tally. What a goal.
Take it away, Alec.
Dude, the very guy who is possibly the worst plus-minus in Stanley Cup final. Well, not for long anymore, he says. A good trailer flying by the Oilers to set them up. And what is it again? Rushes. It was a 3-on-2, both Nurse as a trailer and a good drop pass by Connor McDavid to find Darnell Nurse. And what do we tell you, boys? Fire topside on Sergei Bobrovsky. They had exactly that. And they have fired right onto, this time is at the top left corner for Nurse. And he made no mistake about it. And we do have
unbelievable.
25 minutes in. Anthony Stolarz is coming in.
John, could you have imagined this?
No.
started, could you have possibly fathomed what you are seeing at this moment right now?
No, I am utterly floored right now as Anthony Stolarz for the Florida Panthers. They've used Bob the whole way. This is the first time they've ever made a change.
Well, it is 5-1 Edmonton in this game four that looks to be certainly on the side of the Oilers. It looks like they will live another day here. That was Darnell's first goal of the playoffs. Stolarz now in, and you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's an indictment of Bobrovsky.
No.
Yes, he let some in, but mostly it is a comment about the play in front of him, which has been lackluster to say the least, and it's about resting that number one goaltender for Florida. They know they have another game coming up. It's just about what will the final score. Here come the Oilers yet again. Block here in the second. Puck behind Stolarz now. I'm going to have to get used to saying that. He's got those sweet pads on, a little more touch of a red right there. I kind of like that color scheme. So it's going to become about some of those details now. I think the Panthers maybe just honor here as the Oiler fans have got to be ecstatic, just in heaven in oil country as the Connor McDavid, V97, takes it into the zone, has the puck checked away from him there, but the Oilers continue to possess. Now it's Gretzky's office for 97. Now he's going to go backhand, looking for a hand up Stolarz, and Stolarz says, guess what? I don't want any more of that. I'm covering up.
What did I tell you in the last game? I know I got the scoreline pretty close, but I told you in game 3, it's going to take like a 5-2 effort. They're going to have to pretty much blow the barn doors off the Florida Panthers and dictate the pace of play if they want to take a game in game 4. And now they push Sergei Bobrovsky out of the goal crease.
It might not be game 3 either, which you predicted about, but that's how the Oilers are doing. Dominating this, getting the upper hand on the rushes. They've been getting the upper hand on that 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, doesn't matter. The open man that they find, they're going to find that. And for Darnell Nurse to get his first goal at the playoffs, that's huge for them off the drop pass from McDavid. Top shelf, no mistake about it. And is it safe to say that this game is pretty much the hockey equivalent of yesterday's game between the Celtics and Habs?
I was just going to say that to you as well. I kind of thought about that. But you know what? Sometimes it happens. It's that difficult to sweep. But you do have to have the same thought. You get 3 days off. Essentially, you can hit the reset button with the long travel. Florida is going to have to bring a much tougher intensity if they want to go ahead and close this out on Tuesday. I'm not saying that they're going to have trouble. I'm fully assuming that they're going to get the Stanley Cup. Maybe it takes 6 games, maybe not. But you got to be able to bring the energy. They didn't have it today.
Yeah, great points from both you guys all night long, especially right now. And, you know, this is the one thing that worries me here. Like, look, okay, we can obviously look at the score and go, uh-oh, the Panthers are getting smashed tonight. Well, that's 100% true. But the one thing that's catching me a little bit is the way that it's been happening after missing those early chances. And I think probably having some expectation for the Panthers, not that it was going to be easy. It's still game 4, it's still a closeout game. We talked about that. But I think after missing those opportunities that probably should have gone in, we're talking about margins, tiny, fractional margins of error. But the Panthers have little mantle. They have not really responded. Even with the goal, they have not answered. And Edmonton continues to elevate their game, and they are really setting in concrete here. They are setting in stone a reminder for Florida, this is who we can be any given night. That's got to be a little troubling, even though the Panthers are up at 0. So, gentlemen, we're going to jump back in here. 5-1 your score now, courtesy of Darnell Nurse, the most recent scorer for the hometown Oilers. And they are looking good at Rogers Place here, and they're going to send one in from the blue line. Stolarz, now your goaltender for the Florida Panthers in their white jerseys with the red cuffs and classic blue, orange, and white, those orange shoulder yokes for the Oilers. Looking good. Boy, they are trying to get to Stolarz right away. Wrap around its end. It was actually poke checked away. Nicely. Good vision. Backup tender for Florida. And we have another icing, guys. Boy, this is all Edmonton right now. Florida just really can't find it tonight. We're going to see what kind of a response.
Ratings on the camera shot on ESPN and the Bible of that. Anthony Stolarz had some pretty good numbers in the regular season, even though this seems like garbage time. Want to see him do well.
Yep, You want to see him and have some success here in the Stanley Cup final in some capacity. So far, he's been pretty much calm. The Oilers with 7 goals in the last 3 periods, as opposed to 2 in the first 8. What a turnaround.
Yeah, no question about it. And you take a look at Connor's line right now, goal and assist. That's what you need from a big guy, and he's delivering tonight, and he's been close on a couple other opportunities as well. So with exactly 17 shots for the home team and 14 for the Panthers, the Florida Panthers able to get this one out of their own zone. Now it's sent forward and moved along right there by Nugent-Hopkins. And the puck on the near half boards right now being fought for by Verhaeghe. Nugent-Hopkins still looking for it. Puck bouncing around. Now going to be backhanded by Verhaeghe, and it's picked up by Bennett. One of the Panthers are going to shovel it into the Edmonton zone. Picked up right there by the Oilers, and that is Brodeur, I believe. And it's now, the puck is behind Skinner, who's looked good tonight. Stretch pass right there, deflected away by the Panthers. That was tipped, I believe, by Oposo. We are going to have, I think, a penalty coming up here, gentlemen. I actually missed that one. I was looking down at my rosters. What do you got for me? We got a stoppage.
I don't see anything as of yet for what we see in terms of
maybe I don't want to overstep. Maybe an offside, or do we have a hand up here?
No, that's what we got, Cooper. Offside on that side. We're going to get a draw.
Was a hand pass.
Great, thank you. Right, yeah. I did see a hand up, but it was just to indicate that call right there. So, no, we're still at 5-on-5. 12:22 here in the second. 5-1 Oilers. And the face-off is won, as it has been most times tonight, by Edmonton. Good job right there by Fogle. He has looked good tonight. I'm sure he wants to get one. There's a wraparound attempt. The puck goes through the crease. My goodness, should be 6. Keep an eye on 37, folks, because he is all over it, and so is 97. There's McDavid dancing right there at the airports. Sends a big pass out to the blue line. It's shot through traffic and found by Stolarz. Covered up. Going to be a face-off to his left in a moment.
I'm going to say the easy thing here, Alec, in the sense of it. You put Fogle on the first line with McDavid. You put RNH with Draisaitl. Lean into everything on Tuesday. Everything you did, don't change a thing.
No, we want to stick with what you have now, considering that Warren Fogle got bumped up. He was a healthy scratch for several games in the Western Conference Final. Of him in the lineup, it worked. He scored 20 goals in the regular season, and he's making a difference here. Connor McDavid, 36 points, tied for the most in the last 30 years in a Stanley Cup. If Gady Malkin, 30 assists, the most since Wayne Gretzky's 31.
We got the puck bouncing around now in the far corner to Skinner's right. A couple bodies go down right there. Panthers had a bouncing puck opportunity that didn't make its way to Skinner ultimately, and now the Oilers are going to skate this one away. It's the far boards looking to send this one back to the 45-degree angle. Pass right there is deflected away. And boy, Alec, you have talked about this. 4 out of 5 goals on the rush for the Oilers. They have really just driven it right down the throats of their opponent tonight and has had huge success. Now one of the Oilers down at the red line. We're going to have a stoppage here. And I was a little early on my call, but one goes down. And I think that he was contacted illegally there in the neutral zone, and it's going to be a penalty against Florida for a slash.
Plain as day and not needed.
No, that was clearly uncalled for of Connor Brown getting whacked right at the shin area. Clearly uncalled for from OEL. Defenders are frustrated. I get that the Oilers, they've been capitalizing off the rush multiple times, but Brownie's getting checked by the medical trainer right now. But you do not want to put the Oilers on the power play, especially when they're up by this much. Any goal can be huge. I know it's 5-1 lead, but don't count the Panthers if such a miracle were to happen.
Boy, taking a look at what's going on with Brown right now, the way that the trainer was covering up, I think it was he may have a dislocated finger, maybe even a broken finger. They might be trying to reset that thing. Could have happened when he went down after that blatant slash. Yeah, John, you called it. So the Oilers technically 0 for 1 tonight on their power play with 3 shots. They have another opportunity here. And guess who's on the ice flying down that thing right to left is McDavid. Stops at the half board. He's going to drop this one. But a nice job by the Panthers right there. I thought they got it out. But Bouchard holds it in. Gets it back to McDavid. He holds. He looks for the pass. It's bouncing through. Oh, my gosh. The smoke goes off. I think the Oilers fans thought there was a goal. I didn't see that one clearly, but the referees did not signal that goal was in. It may have bounced off of the post or a crossbar. Hopefully one of you boys can give me a second set of eyes. Luckily, I got both of you. We can get 4 eyes on that thing. There's a shot right there into the breadbasket of Stolarz. Makes a save.
How do you do with McDavid? Right post, top post, left post, and out. No wonder why everybody had a machine gun trigger finger.
Operator thought that there was going to be another goal here. It feels like a shooting contest. Say you can get Evan Bouchard, anyone, get someone onto the point. Junior last night made it to a 3-point shooting contest for the Dallas Mavericks.
I should have known, boys. I asked you. Well, I'm not sure if that puck went off the post or the crossbar. Well, it's Connor. So 102 here, and the man advantage. There's a great cross-ice pass right there. Bouchard takes a big snapshot, and that one bounces off a body. Now he goes back to McDavid. McDavid on that forehand pass to the middle, and just past that left post. And I apologize, to get a number. The shooter fell down right there, so if one of you wants to back me up when we get a stoppage, let me know. But right now, Nugent-Hopkins trying to control the puck near the penalty boxes. That's where OEL sits for 35 for the Panthers. 5-1 Edmonton. 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Just that 1 in the first for the Panthers. Boy, they look hard-pressed to get anything else tonight as the Oilers are doing almost anything they want. Cross-ice pass that was intended for Nugent-Hopkins bounces off the skate, and Bouchard will have it. There's a nice Nuge. And the Oilers stay on side. Draisaitl, sharp angle. There's a nice glove save by Stolarz. Maybe going wide, but he makes that leather flash and keeps one out. 11 seconds here in the power play.
That's a good save for Stolarz there, as you mentioned. And Alec, we talked about this. They wanted to make those changes, shoot more on the power play. Edmonton's doing everything that they wanted to do. It took them a little bit of games to figure it out, and they need to keep it going.
Words from last game, John. To shoot more. They took that advice and took it to heart.
Yeah, they certainly did, guys. 20 shots down for the Oilers to the Panthers 14. Man, oh man. 5 goals. You're converting on 25% of your chances. It's incredible for these Oilers. Cleared by Bennett. Nurse going to go for another one. That's off the skate, though, and the penalty has expired. Puck squirts out to the Oiler logo. Now it's a 1-on-3. Boy, Chuck there just all by himself. Tries to find a trailer, but it bounced off of a stick. He was looking for his teammate in Calgary, Sam Bennett. There's a puck bouncing around, and boy, Skinner goes down, sort of snow angel, half in and half out of the goal. We're going to have some fisticuffs as play has been stopped with 9:04 remaining. It's getting testy, gentlemen.
I don't want to say too much, but I think Darnell Nurse was taking some liberties there with the Kachuk, getting him in a chokehold and pretty much hitting him on the leg with the stick over and over again as he went to break.
There's a lot of fisticuffs. I did describe a Panthers-Oilers Stanley Cup final. Cooper, as an extension of the Battle of Alberta, knowing that Stan Bennett and Matthew Kachuk are over the Panthers, 2 veterans of this Battle of Alberta, but they know the Oilers so well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and we got multiple. We're talking about of course, Kachuk and Bennett. We're talking about Nurse and all these guys that have played each other in the same division when those boys were Flames. And yeah, you got to think that there's some history there, and it's going to show. Especially, we know how hot Matthew Kachuk can get, how much of a pest he can be. Again, this is maybe something we can touch on as we have our media time out here. Not right now, but maybe in our second intermission if we can. But I don't think Kachuk has been bad by any means in this final. But he has not necessarily been the world-class kind of game-breaking player that we know he can be. And that's a credit to his teammates. But maybe we can touch on what he could change or what we're expecting from him as we go forward, because it certainly looks like he's going to be needed as the Oilers are almost certain to get the W tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be needed if they're going to try to find a way to get anywhere closer today, but especially on a Tuesday, as you said. Trying to cut down some of those chances and off the rush and have more attention to detail there if you're Florida. Again, you could talk about a type of game and flush it, but with many chances to the Oilers, essentially they locked them into Pandora's box. But for whatever reason, they're just allowing the Oilers to play regular season hockey, and that's not a recipe of winning games.
No, it's not. If you want to play playoff hockey, you got to play your style of game. If you're the Panthers, get into your element, get into what utilize all your feet up to the ice and lock down on defense. If you're a defensive team, they have to lock down more on it. Get back in game 5, recollect, focus, put this game in the rearview mirror, and calm your nerves.
Yeah, no question. Great comments, boys. And you know what? I just saw him for an extended shot as we were coming back from break. One other crossover who's not on the ice, but did have an impact for both the Calgary Flames once upon a time and currently having an impact for the Oilers. Old Glenn Gulletson, once upon a time, the head coach of the Calgary Flames, now one of the assistant coaches for the Oilers. Just saw him right there. So we got a shot of Knoblauch. And we now get the overhead here as the puck goes down the ice. Verhaeghe can't beat it out. It's going to be Cece on that hybrid ice, and he was there first. And so we'll have a face-off to the, I believe, left of Stolarz momentarily.
Oh, Cooper, I got to ask you quickly then, considering are you going to be available for Tuesday?
Boy, I certainly hope so, guys. I'm going to try to move some things around, and the way things are going right here, I don't want to miss it. This series is really, we thought it was going to go one way and just kind of be a steamroll for the Panthers, and hey, that would have still been exciting in its own right, but I think it's going to be even more special now. If the Panthers are able to do, which again, those statistics show it's absolutely the most likely outcome. But here we go, the Oilers showing you their true colors. Just can they maintain it and win 4 in a row? That's yet to be. Now the puck is loose in front. Boy, it should be 6-1 right now, boys. And Stolarz makes a huge save, and things are getting crazy in the crease as McDavid was poking away. We have one of the Oilers down on the ice, turtling, covering his head. Bennett's on the ice. We got Ekman Larson involved. It is getting ugly, gentlemen. Things getting really hot.
Alec, McDavid was getting absolutely tagged by Tkachuk, and now Bennett's getting a piece of him.
We have Connor McDavid taking exception to Zach Hyman taking multiple cross checks right in front of Stolarz. You know that this is getting ugly. Warren Fogel's wanting to go out with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. There's a helmet off. That's Evan Bouchard in the midst of it. But clearly, Hyman got cross-checked multiple times. We're going to get penalties out of this, no doubt. But if it's after the and you're right in front of the nets, I know you tried to poke it in, but I know there are players from the other side of the ice who do not like it when you take wax at the goaltender and try to take the puck away right after the play is over. But those cross-checks were uncalled for. We see Matthew Tkachuk in the box, who tried to poke it. Zach Hyman poked it right after the whistle, and Sam Bennett basically pounded him down, basically double-teamed by both Bennett. Question that Tkachuk went over to the box. That was basically uncalled for by both he and Bennett.
Cooper, I got to ask you real quickly. If you're Tkachuk, you better be very careful. You're not walking across the volcano's edge, right? You're taking shots at McDavid like that. You might get a look at the disciplinary committee. They need him.
Yeah. You think men might be attention
right.
to the footage we're all seeing right now? I think there are going to be some officials with some things to say. If nothing else, if not, let's just say some phone calls might be made after that one. When McDavid is exposed on all fours, you can't take your elbow. Listen, I'm a Matthew Tkachuk fan for obvious reasons. Cannot be elbowing 97. I don't care if it's 97 or any other number. Can't be doing that to the back of the head and neck area. But Alec, I also like your point. That was started. That puck was clearly underneath the pads of Stolarz. I think, listen, of course you're trying to make the most of your opportunities here. That puck was covered up. The whistle was blowing, and they were still jammed. And that's not acceptable either. But, John, yeah, your point well taken. Cannot retaliate that way, and that is why Edmonton now has a 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 56 seconds here. But, boy, a face-off win by the Panthers. Ekblad skates it forward. Great job right there to take a little bit of time off the clock. You got to think the Edmonton Oilers are just mouth-watering here. What an opportunity. 5-on-3, going to try to get this thing to 6-1. And now at this point, to get another, if you're not already embarrassing your opponents, I think that officially takes you into just back-breaking territory. So we'll see what happens here. McDavid on the ice. He's no worse for wear after taking those hits from Matthew Tkachuk. And he's going to take this one right into the top of the circle. And boy, what a play right there. Floated one to the stick shaft down low. And there's a shot. Ricochets behind to the left of Stolarz. Stolarz looking pretty good here, but he is under fire at the moment. Bouchard back to McDavid. McDavid goes to Draisaitl. A huge slapper from Bouchard. And ricochets around it. McDavid back to Bouchard. Is it that Jersey Mike's logo? Now I'm hungry. What's going on? All right, we got Nugent-Hopkins down low. McDavid stops a bouncing puck. Ekblad can't find it behind him. Boy, these Panthers must be exhausted. Nugent-Hopkins in the trapezoid, going to try to whip this one around. Gets to Bouchard. He wants to get a cannon home. And now it's Draisaitl. Looks for that pass into the slot. Boy, 45 seconds. This 2-man advantage. Bouchard, McDavid, and company staying out on the ice. I think they'll be out there for the rest of this power play. Hyman down low. You know he wants one tonight. 5-1 Edmonton. 7 minutes to go in the second. There's a shot right there that rattles around. Is the puck in? It is. And that is a two-man advantage power play goal put in by the German, Leon Draisaitl. And after the play, players come together. But boys, it is now 6-1 Edmonton.
Take it away, Alec.
Oh, we were knowing when this was going to happen on the 5-on-3, that the Oilers so dangerous on the power play on most nights. We believe it's going to be Hyman on the power play goal if nothing else. But it was Draisaitl on the initial shot, top corner. It went in and out the net in a hurry. And Hyman put it. If that was not going to count, it was Draisaitl on the initial shot. I think it's Draisaitl who's going to get credit for this, just from the tightest angle, right off the stores and into the roof of the net. 5-on-3, and after the end of the commotion with Hyman playing his through, and players coming together on this 5-on, you just knew at some point the Oilers would just score on the two-man advantage. They're listing Hyman. That may be his 15th.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Either way, big credit to those power play, on that power play shift right now. The Oilers doing what they have to do, and it was a little bit of a greasy one, but hey, they all counted. Boy, they have counted 6 of them tonight. They're looking for lucky number 7. There's a shot from way outside. Perry's down low. He hasn't gotten a ton of ice time tonight, but he almost put in that 7th goal for his squad in blue and orange. Now, that final second ticks off. Full strength is the case for both of these teams. Goal advantage for Edmonton. It is an absolute destruction of the Panthers tonight, and a night when they had an opportunity to win the Stanley Cup. It is in the building. They are almost certain to not be touching it this evening, and we have a shot deflected off of the stick of Stuart Skinner into the netting. So we'll take a look at this thing, and boy, one of you boys, I know you just saw this stat too. 31 assists in a single postseason now for Connor McDavid, tied with the great one for most all-time in NHL history in a single postseason.
And as you said, Cooper, it was showcasing tonight what Edmonton can do when they're at their best and they're attacking the net and they're dictating play. This is a stern reminder for the Florida Panthers.
It is a stern reminder to never count out the chosen one, CMD. Never count him out on any given night, because any night he can take over a game and he can be as dangerous as he is on most occasions. And he's just showing up with his 31st assist. It's either going to be Draisaitl or Hyman. Right now they're showing Hyman, which could be his 15th goal, which ties Alex Ovechkin on that 2018 run for the most goals in the last decade in a single playoff run.
Wow, just unbelievable, and we are back underway here with 5:40 to go. And we've joked about this before. Of course, Zach Hyman has basically scored all 15 of those goals from about 15 inches away from the goal line. And there's one on the left post. Boy, Stolarz was out of position, and the Edmonton Oilers almost backhanded one in. Now a bouncing puck goes right to Edmonton on his backhand now, looking for pass, sends it back to the line from the blue line, wristed in, and bounces off of his skate now. The Panthers are trying to get this thing out. They're going to do so with the puck of Reinhart. So, boy, haven't heard much from Reinhart either this evening. Now, 25 shots for Edmonton, 16 Florida. Just really not getting the offense here. Just on the mat. We used that boxing analogy earlier. They are basically down for the count. It's just letting the referee slowly count to 10. Now a pass out from the trapezoid almost finds one of the Oilers. Inside finds McDavid back out on the ice. Boy, Knoblauch not letting off the gas here. I think he wants to put as many in as possible and show his team can be, and show the rest of the hockey world for that matter. 4.5 to go now. Out on the ice is Lundell for the Panthers, and I believe we're going to have an icing here. No, we do have a stoppage. Fogle down, and are we going to see a penalty here, boys, for potentially interference? We have Fogle on his backside, right by his own bench.
The initial call was, but I believe they're going to call this icing with Fogle down on his 2 legs. Might have got a little tangled up.
John, were you seeing anything right there? I don't mean to keep overstepping and calling penalties that aren't real, but I'm just getting a lot of body contact. I'm almost expecting them to throw a hand in the air, but that may have just been an icing.
No, we got an icing there, but we expect the physicality to not stop at any point, Cooper.
Yeah, no, that's a point that we all have to remember. And John, I know you're taking the third period. You might not be calling too many goals, but get ready to be jotting down 5-minute majors for fighting in your notebook, because I think it could be a wild third period, to say the least. So still some time here in the second, and I will enjoy it as best I can. It's Calgary Flames fan watching the Oilers absolutely smash a couple former Flames wearing white tonight. There's a bouncing puck. Skinner, good job by those blue liners in blue to get that puck out to the neutral zone. Ekblad of Florida sends it back and around to Skinner's right. Picked up in the far corner. And a pass across right there going to be taken by the Oilers and shot down low. It's a deflection. Nice job to avoid the icing there. So Lars comes out of his crease. Going to leave it there for one of his defenders, and it's deflected over into the neutral zone, chopped along, and all the way to the big paddle of Skinner. So kind of back and forth here from goalie to goalie as we now have 3:50 to go in the second. Nice floated puck right there. Going to be picked up by Montour. It is back to the Oilers logo, backhanded along. Couldn't find anyone. No icing, so Stolarz plays it. Boy, he took a long time down on him. Nothing to come of it, though. And now coming the other way with it is Stanley. I believe he's going to backhand this one, looking for a teammate out in that blue paint area in front of Skinner. And a huge hit right there by Kyle Oposo. Boy, he's a forward who can play like a defenseman. He has got that physicality, and he just upended one of his opponents. Again, apologies for this right here, and I almost missed the television numbers, so I need to throw Alec and John to be my second, third sets of eyes right here. 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Alongside John Ott and the man Alec Nava. These guys are excellent. Just along for the ride, having some fun, as we all are. It feels like the Panthers are being taken for a ride as Draisaitl tripped, and the puck's still on the skate of one of the Oilers, so we're going to get a call here. Puck goes back to the blue line, stepping in between the circles. There's a shot, and Stolarz finds this one, holds, who hangs his head a bit. I think he wants another one tonight.
I will say this, for the thousands of dollars that you pay to go ahead and watch a Stanley Cup final, at least the Oilers fans have so good about tonight. And you know what, honestly, I saw some of the stuff in my YouTube comment section, regardless of where Cooper and I might lean, especially Cooper on this side. I did see a lot of comments saying, I hope the Oilers do get one because McDavid and Draisaitl really kind of deserve it. Honestly, I can understand where the fans come from on that side.
Yep. If we know about where the fans come from and the physicality efforts, it was Okposo, the big bruiser, whatever he is on the Islanders or the Sabres. They both know him well. Also, on that power play, it wasn't Hyman who got the deflection right in front. Nugent-Hopkins, he had 2 goals on the man advantage in Game 5 against Towers. He has the 5-on-3 goal, so they just changed the rule.
Wow, great, Alec. That's an awesome note. Thanks for getting that corrected on that side. Well, yeah, that's just credit to 93, those players who, listen, they are so skilled, and Nugent-Hopkins has been a huge contributor for them for so many years, and I don't want to say by any means gets overshadowed, but who gets most of the attention most of the time? It's pretty obvious, the 2 big names there, and credit for being to him for being in the right place at the right time, and gotta feel good. I mean, John, too, for those YouTube commenters. Of course, I have my own bias, but look, I appreciate skill. I appreciate greatness. The Oilers get a lot of heat. Some people say, they've done less with more than most teams have ever done, with these generational talents. But tonight we see just how important those players are, how much they can take over a game. There have been so many examples through many regular seasons and playoffs. Yes. But this is, one of the biggest games in their careers. And they have shown up tonight when they needed it the most, and that is a huge positive. It's got to make Knoblauch and his staff feel really good, and it's got to make those Panthers fans feel a little nervous.
Yeah, they're sweating a bit here in the second period, knowing that the Oilers, they can all show out their talent or with their udders, whether it be the second period or the first period. Their udders took the show in that first period, but it's the top-end talent in that second period that's showing out the best, namely McDavid, who had a goal and 2 assists in this middle frame.
Yep, absolutely right. And he's sitting on those 3. I think there's a good, that he's got that deep competitive spirit and streak, and he's going to want to get as much as he can. These fans and his teammates. And there's a puck up and over the glass from the neutral zone and out of play. So we have a stoppage, just over 2.5 to go here in the second.
28 shots. 6 goals for Edmonton, just 16 for Florida, and the 1 for them.
Yep.
Question, it's been all Oilers really all the time after the first 5 minutes max or so in the first period. I know the Panthers did get that goal, but it's really been the Oilers' game tonight, and the scoreline is all the evidence you need when hearing that comment. So 2 minutes and 20 seconds here in the second. have possession here in the O zone. They are fighting for one back out to the far point. It's held, passed across right there. Left. He can't control it. He's hit right there. Boy, nice check right there. I think that may have been at Glad. But the Oilers, guess what? Still have the puck. That's what matters. Now it rattles away. Getting picked up by Stanley. Panthers just trying to get out of their own zone right now. Inside 2 minutes to go. They barely do so. It's back to neutral ice. So the Oilers have to check up. And they do at the blue line. Going to be floated down back toward the red line by the Panthers. And there's the official word on the ESPN side. First goal of this playoffs for Nugent-Hopkins, or in the series, I believe. And now we have 28 shots, 16 for the Panthers. 1:30 to go in this second period. Dominant lead for the Oilers. Puck bouncing around Stolar's left. Good job by Ekblad to tie up one of the Oilers. Boy, going down there could have been a tripping call. Hand in the air. I'm not going to jump on it too fast this time. I've learned my lesson a couple of times. And the Oilers have it at the near half boards. It rattles away from, it looks like it may have been Draisaitl, and then that puck is behind Skinner to his left. Here come the Panthers looking for anything, trying to get something in this last minute. Ekblad on the ice is going to pick up a pass. No, it's deflected back behind. Now taken by Tarasenko. I haven't said his name, but he is the goal scorer for the Panthers tonight. There's a big slap shot, bounces around, and I think it was knocked away by the glove of Nurse. And so 50 seconds now as the puck is shot all the way down. One of the rare times this period that the Oilers have had to clear. And we'll have a face-off next to Skinner with 48.5 to go.
Well, we get that picture that I've seen a lot on social media. 2013 Chaminade Prep in St. Louis. 9th grade class photo for Jason Tatum and Matthew Tkachuk. That is pretty cool.
It's amazing that perhaps two high school classmates potentially winning their championships, maybe at home, if that were the case. And no, two were not really that good for the thinking. It's a hard fought to fathom, but it's good that we won't get two sweeps.
Yeah, and Matthew Tkachuk and Tatum, they are, again, so amazing. But Tkachuk just 1 point in this series, and that goes back to what I was mentioning earlier. Maybe we do get there as the puck is shot between the legs and back into Skinner's left. I think that was by Bennett, who comes in on the forecheck and lays the body right there. And this puck's going to go all the way down for another icing. Not really what the Edmonton Oilers want right there, but when you're leading 6-1, guys, I don't think you're too worried about it. And there he is. There's Brady Tkachuk with his mother, Brady, of course, with the Senators, one of the better players in the league as well, and support his brother tonight.
Just got to get Keith out there onto the crowd.
Yeah, Keith, maybe he knows the outcome. Maybe Keith went to listen to a podcast in the car. Who knows? 20 seconds. Is going to float one right towards Skinner. Boy, bounces off a body. I don't think Skinner saw that one. And now a pass right into the crease there. Bounces off the right pad. Now floated way is that puck. 5 seconds to go here in the second. This thing should probably run out, and it will on the stick of Alex Barkov, and zeros on the clock. The Oilers fans absolutely loving it. And if you're a Panthers fan, yikes. Good luck in the third, John. This thing could get wild, my friend.
Yeah, you know what, gentlemen? I could say this and be funny and say I wanted to take the third period for glory, but I kind of feel like I had a little bit of an inkling that the Oilers are going to. It's really hard to get a sweep. I wanted to make sure you guys had the bulk of the action the first and second, so I could take the third here this time and see what happens. Surprised if I don't get a few fight calls here. That's what the matter of day is here right now. 6-1 to be going in the third period. We got the intermission out in front of us, but all Oilers in that second as well. Connor McDavid gets a goal for the first time. Darnell Nurse, RNH in the Stanley Cup final. RNH on the power play from Draisaitl and McDavid. Nurse from McDavid and Hyman off the rush. And Connor McDavid from Hyman and Bouchard. And that 5-on-3 power play that we had, it pretty much seemed like Evan Bouchard was holding that circle button for an eternity. He was ready to let those slap shots fly.
He was ready to let it fly. Maybe Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, striking big time, especially Nurse, who's due for a goal and bound to break that sting that has been right at his back for so long here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Was a -6 worst in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the worst since Paul Reinhart, Sam Reinhart's dad. And we have an Oilers fan with a sign that says, "Let's go Oilers," saying, we will win Game 4. Showing you right to the ESPN's desk studio, ringside. And fittingly enough, he's wearing a Mark Messier jersey right behind Mark Messier.
I love it. You got to make your call. Messier made one of the most famous calls in NHL as well. Make a sign, make a call, and make it right behind Messier. Perfect choices.
Again, the one thing that can stand out for me in a game like this, I look at some of the plus minus, and sometimes it's a throwaway stat, sometimes it's not. But Matthias Janmark, who hasn't played a ton, is a +3 with a goal and an assist, so the bottom six line is kind of out. Again, we talked about them having to do most of the damage. Honestly, they've not been a problem in this series for the Edmonton Oilers. It's been everybody else that's kind of been shut down. Florida has been able to do that. Uncharacteristic of them tonight. Again, it's one game. I'm not going to read too much into that. But we will say going into Tuesday, there's going to be a little bit of a reset. You do have the long travel. Again, not trying to make excuses, but it really is hard to get sweeps. But I am surprised at some point. Sergei Bobrovsky pulled 11 out of 16, 5 goals against. Maybe 4 of them pretty much were unstoppable. But Anthony Stolarz, and I know this is going to get lost in this game, pretty good so far. 10 of 11 in his relief appearance.
Yeah, yes. In his minimal minutes that he's played, 10 of 11 in relief of Sergei Bobrovsky. What you want to see from a backup goaltender once you start getting pulled. So something can build confidence up later down the line. Maybe you stay as the backup, or if you want to, give some more confidence to the first stringer, the young guy, Spencer Knight, if you were to become the backup to Sergei Bobrovsky later down on this Panthers team.
Of course, just a crazy bouncing puck there. And I mean, let's be honest, he's sitting back there trying to defend the goal on 5-on-3 with McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard bombing him, and Hyman, who is now tied with for the most goals in a playoff series, in a playoff year. I mean, it's just incredible stuff what the Oilers have done. Now, up to this point, it's been really mostly Panthers, and then Game 3 and push back. It was too little, too late. Here's what I'm thinking for the Panthers now. Maybe I'm just being devil's advocate here, looking at things from another lens. Now, 6-1, you know you're just trying to stay healthy, right? You might see more time for your fourth liners, right? We maybe have some options for Paul. It chooses to. Here's what I'm thinking, guys. Let's say it ends up 6-1. Let's say maybe the Oilers bang in one more at 7-1. I think there's all to be made for the Panthers to be able to say, you know what? That was a complete anomaly. That was just not who we are as a team. We have time now. You lose by 1 goal in triple overtime, or you're blown out 10-1, whatever it might end up being. You take the L, you swallow it, you say, all right, they were better than us tonight. But with such a huge margin, maybe the Panthers have to shift that mindset and say, you know what? We just crumple it up, throw it away, and act like it didn't happen, because that's not us. We were off for one night. We're in the Stanley Cup final. We're going to rest. We're going to fly home. We're going to be who we know we can be, come back, get that the cup. Maybe there's something to be said for that. Maybe I'm being too pie in the sky. Tell me if you think I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy, because, again, when I talked about it in the Game 3 side alongside Alec, and I mentioned it would be the Oilers in 5-2 or something like that, I know Alec took a long pause and probably thought I was a little bit crazy, but this was the type of deal that I think that Edmonton had. And as you mentioned, Cooper, it's uncharacteristic mistakes, chances off the rush, not being ready to go to match the intensity. Well, again, as you said, that's not what the Florida Panthers are, but that's the way the Edmonton Oilers have to try to win. And if you can really tell me that you believe the Oilers can do this 3 more times, then we can have a complete different discussion about it. But yeah, sometimes nights like this happens. You catch the Oilers, they beat you. But I think, as you said, it makes this one much easier to crumple up and throw away and get settled for Tuesday.
Yeah, and Phil, normally you want to keep tape if you suffer a loss here. But if I'm the Florida Panthers, just abandon the tape of this game. This is not what you are. This is not Florida Panthers style of hockey. What we're looking for is more tight-checking, in-your-face style of hockey, but we're not seeing that for the Panthers tonight. This was more of an Edmonton Oilers. Is this a game or is this a scrimmage for them? Because it feels like more like a scrimmage for the Oilers in a 6-1 dominating style. Like 80s hockey, here we are, Wayne Gretzky style.
It's a scrimmage, Alec.
getting I was going to say it's getting wild out there. It has been wild out there, and the Panthers have got to be reeling. And maybe I'm just putting myself in the shoes of a fan of Panthers. You know, when that margin is so big, and you've had so much success, including in the first 3 games of this Stanley Cup final, you go, you know what? That's not the Florida Panthers that I know. I know that's not who they are. And I think that maybe you just turn around and say, I fully expect them to reclaim their game and potentially claim the greatest trophy in sports a few nights from now. It's going to be tough getting through this third period. But I think that they may be able to bounce back just saying, hey, we took a really big L tonight in bold, italicized, 72-point font, and we'll just move on and pump this thing and get back to business.
I just want to agree with you, gentlemen, on the narrative side. I'm not trying to push a question, but I do want to ask it now since we have the luxury of all there. Cooper, let's say that Edmonton gets another one of these style of games, but they do so at Emirates Bank Arena on Tuesday. A little bit, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Alec, jump in first. Share your thoughts. I'm curious what you think.
It truly is going to change the narrative. If the Oilers jump out onto Florida ice and get one back, it's going to change the narrative a lot. And any questions are going to be if the Oilers getting back momentum. I mean, one game, all right. So you take one game. So you get some pressure off your back. And then you get 2 games and then you're back into the series all of a sudden. Now the pressure's on the Oilers if they lose a game 5 after dropping a game 4. The pressure, see how they answer back in Edmonton for the game 6. If they can live up to standards, how to handle the pressure, how to handle up against this fast, speedy Oilers team that loves to play defensively, which is weird to say. They love to play defensive talent, and now their others are stepping up. They're getting onto the board. No matter which way they go here in Game 4, that everyone is clicking at the right time for Edmonton. The Panthers have their backs against the wall in a hypothetical Game 6 should they drop a Game 5 at Emirates Bank Arena. They're going to be the ones that need to answer all the tough questions asked towards them.
Yeah, John, I think, another classic saying comes to mind. It's sort of a fool me once situation, right? It's like, fool me once, okay, shame on you, so to speak, right? Oilers got us. They got us. We've been in Alberta. We're up in Canada. We're thousands of miles away from where we live and play hockey. Okay, they caught us off guard. It was a big game. Yes, we could have closed it out, but hey, sweeps are rare anyway. Let's win it in front of our fans, et cetera, et cetera. Then, in your hypothetical, you come back home, you get that home cooking, you get that, we're coupled with that extra rest day, you reset, you're on your turf, and then maybe you go down, you lose 5-1, you lose another game 6-2, something along those lines. The Oilers just smashed you. That's where you go the second half of that phrase. So it's now fool me twice, shame on me. Then the Panthers must look in the mirror. They're probably going to do that after this game too, but I don't think it's going to be a long look. I think it's going to be more like what we've all described. You take a breath, look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, all right, remember who you are and be that. But if you cannot find it again, then because the Oilers will start to smell blood in the waters of the Atlantic and they will come after you. It's going to be an oil slick all over the Gulf Coast, baby, because, once McDavid and Draisaitl and company get rolling, look out.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, not just for the sake of entertainment, but honestly, that's important for the Florida Panthers to answer on Tuesday, not only to lift the cup, but at least make it close enough. Because if they take another one of these big-time L's, then all of a sudden you do get that belief in that locker room. And, by the way, we talked about it on the AHL side a little bit alongside Alec when he mentioned Hershey Bears and the Cleveland Monsters. Hershey Bears were up 3-0 in their Eastern Conference final in the series before Cleveland made them go to a Game 7. But it looks like the Coachella Valley Firebirds and the Hershey Bears are going to be off once again in that Calder Cup final. And Coachella has won the first. Second affiliate's going to do pretty good because the Washington Caps affiliate Bears are pretty beat up this time around.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, sorry, Alec. What was that? So we'll give him one more time.
4-3 was the final score in Game 1.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. And yeah, I remember last year. I think it was a 7-game series. The Firebirds got very close, but the Bears took it. Was that right, John? In Game 7 last year in Calder Cup?
Yeah, it was Game 7 overtime last year from those two.
Well, they were ahead of the curve. Maybe I was thinking back to that. Maybe that's where my prediction came from. Stanley Cup final. But boy, yeah, I know we're not talking about the Kraken, who of course missed the playoffs this year, and with that in mind, I'm sure they would rather trade the kind of playoff run that their affiliate is having than their own experience in the NHL. But yeah, big credit to both the Bears and the Firebirds, who are just a couple seasons old. They're just brand new there in Old Palm Springs, a couple hours from where I am, and they deserve a lot of credit. They got Chris Draisaitl in net,
Yes.
one of the backup net minders for the Kraken. So a lot of good players on that roster, and they're obviously clicking as a team. It's impressive.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor that because I said as soon as the Stanley Cup Finals are over, I'll probably join into that one between like Game 3, Game 4 at some point and try to cover that out on NHL Network. Inside the Oilers locker room, again, as we've noted, alongside Alec Nava, Cooper Hopkins, I'm John Ott. I'm going to get set. I'll be taking the third period play-by-play, regardless of what is left, but we do expect some physicality in there. But the Oilers know this is just one game. You got to be able to figure out what's going to happen on Tuesday. Again, you got 1,000 miles in that distance, so there'll be a lot to think about in that time. You don't want to get in your own head either. You want to do everything that you just did and repeat it much on this Saturday as you can on Tuesday into Game 5. And if you're Florida, as we talked about, take everything that you can and flush it. We've kind of given you the reset, but I'll jump in and give these boys a break a little bit. 27-18 is the shot board in favor of Edmonton Hits, or 38-28 for the Cats. Face off this all night, and it's worth repeating. 27-21. They've done a better job on the draws. 1 for 4 on the power play is Edmonton. 0 for 1 is Florida. Again, the giveaways. This is what hasn't been the Edmonton Oilers as much in this game as in comparisons to the first three. 13-6. You don't want to lead there, but they're up 6-1 on the board. With block shots, that's what the Oilers do well. They've been doing pretty well in this series. 16-13. They have the edge there, and a 9-7 edge in takeaways over the Cats.
And so far, everything's been clicking for Edmonton all throughout departments. That may be the only one that wish they do not have the advantage, but they really don't need to be outhitting the Panthers. And while the Panthers, they can wear them down, how much of that is going to affect the Panthers until it backfires? We mentioned about how much the hitting is going to be. So far, the Panthers, they've been no worse for wear. The goals. They're not getting enough shots because of the suffocation by the Oilers. We spoke about Game 1, about how the Oilers, they've been getting all the looks. They've been getting all the looks. Unlike Game 1, the Oilers are capitalizing. We're being off the rush. They scored 4 to 6 goals when coming off the rush. And he got on the board on the man advantage for the first time in series. They're 1 for 12 on that department. Block shots also on the bench, 16-13. And one the more giveaways, with the way the Panthers are rather slow in this game, it's really working to the Oilers' favor how they're getting the more the block shots and they're shutting out the Panthers and completely neutralizing them.
Yes, they are. And again, I know you guys brought this up a little bit in the second. I know we're getting close to getting to the third here, but I just want to out there a little bit. And a scoreline is this: it's 6-1. And we think at this point, it's going to be interesting for Kris Knoblauch and Paul Maurice, isn't it? Because you're in an interesting conundrum. You got to take your top lines, essentially rest them. It's going to be a lot of pressure on the bottom six in that D-core, isn't it?
Yeah. But here's what I'm looking for, and maybe it comes from your third or fourth line, and maybe those guys who are quote-unquote grinders get an opportunity here to do one specific thing, if you're the Panthers especially. Exclusively, I should say. Look, I don't think you're trying to come back and get the W here. Maybe you want to embarrass the Oilers to the point where they're going to have to become an AHL team. If they give up the win tonight, they're going to trade places. The Fireblazers get their spot in their division, and they are relegated. But the only thing I will say is that I think you want to just try to get one more. Get your third or fourth liners. Get one just put one past Skinner. Just remember that you're going to put him, that you have the ability to do that, and then move on, and we'll see what happens in Game 5.
You're just playing for pride at this point. Only other thing that I can note here as we're getting set to start the third period is that the Toronto Maple Leafs will not be on their coaching staff anymore. Wayne Lambert in, Boucher out.
So they're going with a completely new staff alongside Craig Berube.
They are.
So we will get settled here for the third period. Rogers Place. Goal and 2 assists for McDavid, for Draisaitl, 2 for Hyman, and a goal for RNH. You need the big boys to get on the score sheet. They've all done so. That's why your scoreline is 6-1. As it stands, the Oilers will still be down 3-1 in the Stanley Cup final, but it goes to show you what the Oilers can do when they can play their brand of hockey.
Yeah, for that core 5 for them, they had 4 points entering this series, 3 from McDavid, the other one Bouchard. And now that core 5, they have 3 points in this game alone between McDavid, 2 for Draisaitl, and the Nuge has the other point, and Bouchard the other one.
Go ahead, Cooper. Give me your thoughts before I jump into this.
Well, boys, I just want to say that it has been a night that none of us expected. And again, this is a theme. It's probably going to be the same as we continue to the end of what will be a pretty easy regulation win, you'd think, for the Oilers. I got to give a situation where they could have folded. I don't think anyone would have been stunned had this been a sweep. Again, we don't want to just write this in pen yet, but the writing is on the wall in pencil, if nothing else. And the Oilers, you know what? They put on a show for their home crowd. Even if they only get this one, right? We can't look too far into the future. Only get this one. At least they gave those Canadian fans, that market that's been starved for a Stanley Cup, they gave them something to cheer about. It's been a long time, and it does still seem like it's going to be at least another season before a chance at it. But it's a step in for the Oilers, and you got to win one before you win 3 more. They are clearly just inches away from doing that tonight. So a tip of the cap to Edmonton.
Kris Knoblauch and company completely transformational effort here on defense as a couple wristers. Tkachuk, this one goes above the bar in between all. Again, now trying to get this one is Verhaeghe. We'll send this one. Pick it back up. Here's a wrister. A good save for Skinner as he slides over. Florida does get a very early power play in the third. If they can cash in on this, you take what you can get.
Take what you can get. Even though you're down by 5, no longer about the win here for Florida in Game 4. It's no longer about sweeping your opponent. You just take what you can get, what's given to you. Darnell Nurse's slide, Verhaeghe knew it instantly, just fired.
So Verhaeghe now, as this one will go all the way back. Tkachuk will set it up across the left side, red line for Barkov. Lead for Reinhard now. Alexander try to get it for Carter Verhaeghe near the left side of the red line. It's Tkachuk. Here's a touch pass. Good deflection attempt from Montour, but Skinner saw it.
That's what I said. Get to the dirty areas of the ice. Get the punches right on Stuart Skinner if you were to test him. Good start.
Yeah, showing a little life. That's all you need, just a little bit of a pulse. You got to keep it going. Don't want to go full flatline here.
No, that's what you wanted to see, and also you wanted to manage those minutes as we talked about. It's a very interesting situation that you find yourself in. At least for Florida, you cannot have any time where you get any injured bodies. That's the last thing you want right now. But you still have a lot of storylines to talk about. This pass gets intercepted. Now will be an opportunity to the right side wall. This is kept by Brown. Good save, Stolars. And that would have been another chance off the rush, this time shorthanded. That's how they opened the scoring, as this one sent in. Opportunity now, Darnell Nurse will just chip it away. Rodrigues will try to finish his hit. This does not bounce on the player's bench. In fact, it goes all the way back to Sam Bennett. Here's a good pass from about 100. Half spin, Erod, beautiful touch. Tarasenko, Liddell, good save, Skinner. That was great puck movement by the Panthers. That's going to give more Oilers fans something to cheer about. Rodrigues, Lindell, crisscross near the right dot. Now Bennett He's in behind his cage. His legs, gives it to OEL. Fake the slapper, Rodrigues. Rodrigues now left side, shoots it high. This will bounce near the right side boards, matriculate back to Lindell. And for Bennett, he's working in behind the office of Skinner. It's Lindell near the right side. Wrap. This one tied up by the Oilers. Good. He's got a lot of shots. It's been a pretty good power play if they can add to it. Lindell now to the right side. One-timer fanned on. This one goes all the way back. No, the Panthers didn't score there, but that was incredibly dangerous as this goes back now to OEL. Slowed down by Stolars and now lifted on the left side. Check are the Panthers. This will be sent all the way down. 17 minutes have expired. We got 3 minutes expired in the third. John, I'm here with you. Alec Nava, Cooper Hopkins. The third, I know it's probably set in sail already and set in stone for this game, but we'll take you across all the way and then see what happens on Tuesday. Because it looks like this will be sent in on the left side boards. Good reverse pivot. Oilers try to stay with it. This puck is just stuck near the left side dot. And the Panthers now will take a long flick. This will bounce back for Kulak. Somewhat down from Bouchard as they mix that line a little bit. Bouchard will send this one down around the end boards, and Kris Knoblauch and chase it. It is Gustav Forsling, top line, Nico Mikkola. This will be sent in. Skinner will stop it, slam it around the embankment. This is stolen right side, red line, Florida. As they worked in behind Lindell. Make his pass, Mikkola. Set up the one-timer. Good save, Skinner. Rebound. This is bounced all across bodies. And Edmonton able to use that funnel of bodies there just to get the puck away. And they're the left side red line. As Florida got close a few times, but there was just too many. 6-1 lead. As this is picked up off the backhand. Bounced up in the air, Luostarinen. He'll get it back across the wall. This is recollected by Edmonton. Take a big hit near the left side boards. Lindell steals. Very good forechecking here for Florida. Sent toward the net. Skinner's got a hold. And now there's going to be Holloway with some punches. We knew we were going to see this.
Book your tickets now. Book your tickets now to who is going to get into the fight here between Florida and Edmonton. Should one happen here, I may maybe like me going with Lawrence and Cece if such a were the case. But I'm just going to book my tickets now.
Yeah, the ESPN is already broadcasting the UFC Fight Night from Las Vegas. I think they're going to be broadcasting NHL Fight Night from Edmonton, Alberta pretty soon.
Yeah, I lean with both of you gentlemen on that side. We'll see if it matriculates itself right now. So Florida, we just talked about this on the shot board as far as them being down about 12 or 13. Now the shot board is just 1. So Edmonton in the full defend mode right now. And Stuart Skinner, he's going to be getting a little bit of a sweat on here in this third. He gets dispossessed. This will be sent back down deep. So Florida is not giving up on this right now, probably because there's so much time left in this third. I know what the score line is. We'll probably see the Dogs be called off maybe in about 7-8 minutes time from now as it ticks away. But still, this is a rush for Bennett. Too far. They will back away from the hit here, will Florida, as this goes back to Montour, now OEL. 17 goals by defensemen this postseason, most in the NHL for the Oilers. Again, we knew going in, but haven't really seen a breakout until now in this Stanley Cup final. They've won the Cup 5 times in a 7-season span from 84 to 90. And Messier and the whole entire group, Grand Fear and all of that. As this one's picked up now on the right side. Barkov, McDavid gets the steal. He loves to play defense in his own end and do pretty much everything else. As this is near the right side, there's a thunderous hit, but Ekblad able to retrieve the biscuit. I'll give to Barkov around the inboards. This will be picked up now, right side dot, one-timer, shot by Skinner, and then shot wide near the left side dot. This will be recollected. Reinhart finishes his as this slowly goes to the right side line. Florida steals again, and they'll send it in, but a delayed offside will allow the Oilers and Kris Knoblauch squad for the forwards to take a change. 14 minutes left to go in the third. It's a 6-1 score line. Don't feel like I'm going to get a lot of goals here, but we got a lot of action for Florida in this. Nico Mikkola across the right side wall. This is stolen. There's a race for the puck right now. Lindell trying to get a couple extra pokes at it. His outstretched pass from left to right in the sea of blue and orange. As this will be sent in, Stolarz will make a basket catch, and we'll get a stoppage with 13:30.
Flip it up and right onto the catch as no commotion happens here. I know there's a sense of frustration from the Panther faces. Secretly, you want to calm your nerves down, despite all the frustration that's mounted here in the first two periods. You got one back in the first period. That was much, but that was a barrage of Oilers goals, all in between that Tarasenko goal. There's pretty much hardly anything that you can take away positive for the Panthers in this game. Regroup, recollect, burn the tape from this game, and stick to what you do best. Play your style of hockey.
Guess whether or not it's subjective, again, because the scoreline's so big. The Panthers have been able to take this essentially 6 minutes and Skinner, I think you want to have a little bit of a press, at least for Edmonton, and not completely show up as they've done, because he's going to be almost in the 50 save mark if this continues. We got to press a little bit.
And you got to think that Oiler goalie coach is saying, like, hey guys, you know you got a teammate back there, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a brick wall. Yeah, I know that. So he has lungs and legs and limbs, and he gets tired too. Can you give him a rest? But Panthers, I think, probably just to maybe prove to themselves that they can. Just reminding each other, like, hey, we can get shots on net, we can create volume, well, we can get the puck down low, and maybe we get bounced, maybe we get a goal out of this thing, maybe it ends up 6-3, right? Hey, the loss is coming. Let's just come to terms with that. Let's see what we can do. John, I love that you made the observation. I would expect to see those third and fourth liners get more shifts as we get past the 12-10 sort of 9-minute mark, closing out this game. But you never know. Maybe Paul Maurice has different things in mind. Maybe he really wants to keep his top players pushing, and that just kind of have that dog mentality, just driving regardless. Yeah, the ultimate prize.
I know we talk about it amongst us, gentlemen, in the sense of Paul Maurice being a master tactician and be able to give all the quotes and everything possible. Even in a storyline like this, Paul Maurice's thoughts, that'll be something I'll be glued to once we get to this part of the postgame. This is now won by the Oilers. Fired towards Stolarz, and Stolarz has been pretty good so far in his respite there for Bobrovsky, and we'll continue to see how well he plays. He's probably not going to face the brunt of action if this continues right now. It's been all Panthers because of this score line where it is right now, 6-1 in this third. They're down, but they've had all the press, and as Cooper mentioned, when is it going to change as far as third and fourth liners coming in? As this one sent in, this is a cross-check. This is a brutal one right in front of the net. This will put the Panthers back to the power play. Darnell Nurse and now Steven Lorentz, because he got smoked in the back, he wanted to get some retribution. I don't blame him.
Yeah, that was not a smart move by Darnell Nurse to cross-check Steven Lorentz right in front of Stuart Skinner, and with the official watching that. I don't care if you're up 6-1, if you're in a tight game, or if you're down in a game, if you're down in a blowout. You do not cross-check someone right in front of the goal with the official watching. You do not do that.
Oh, just in all capital letters, why?
Right.
Why? It's not needed. And, Nurse has one of the and look, I'm not saying a bad penalty takes away the fact that he contributed offensively, but that, you know better. You know better. Your coaches are going to be disappointed in that choice now. That you didn't make a choice. I mean, just come on. It's just simple hockey. Just get out of this game. They don't need a power play. You don't need a penalty kill. Move on.
Absolutely. Across the right side, and I also will say this, you don't need any more to wake up the Florida Panthers because this game is done, but you don't forget stuff like that leading into Tuesday. I'm just saying, as Montour will send this one back now for Verhaeghe. And this will be almost intercepted, but Sam Reinhart will now get it across the left side, red line game. Across the wall, we'll send it back for Matthew Tkachuk. And number 19 will take a slow stroll now on the right side and send it in. 1:10 left to go on the Florida power play as Darnell Nurse takes a cross check. It is Reinhart, and he'll settle it back for a one-timer pass attempt. And now here's Connor Brown. Brown is a good pad save by Stolarz as this one gets sent in for Brandon Montour. Montour now, and we'll lose this one as it gets sent down off the stick lift. Stolarz will slow it down. 11:55 left to go in the third. John here with you alongside Alec Nava and Cooper Hopkins. It's good to have Cooper with us. It's been the first time during the Stanley Cup Finals we can broadcast, but sometimes you do get score lines like this. But nonetheless, it'll still be a 3-1 Panthers lead in the series with their destiny in front of them. As Oliver Ekman-Larsson off the back skate. It's a good penalty kill this time by the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe we'll say that a lot, but this time there are shots. As this is picked up for Rodrigues. Left side wall. Bennett. His pass blocked. They're looking for Tarasenko off the spot. But on the second attempt, will get sent back down for Stolarz. So penalty expires. Darnell Nurse will emerge from the sin bin as OEL. We'll get around one. We'll send it in and across the red line. Skinner will stop it. Now toward the right side wall. This will be intercepted partially. Darnell Nurse with a goal, 5 shots and 4 blocked. As this goes into the right side, this will be picked up across the wall. Could be a rush with Henrique if they can sauce it to him. We'll get it now to the right side board, send it around the embankment. Be picked up now for Brown, trying to get around the defense. I think we're going to get an inadvertent whistle here, 10:44. We'll see what we get here. I think we might get a penalty against the Panthers.
Ekblad and Brodeur get a miss of it, but nonetheless, the smoke continues on. When it rains, it pours. But one penalty happens, another penalty occurs, and then it's a slash against Aaron Ekblad. He's going to the box to put the Oilers on the man advantage. They have a touchdown. They can score an extra point.
Perfect way to put it, Alec. That's what the Edmonton Oilers are looking at. And Ekblad with the slash there. Look, I know you're still trying to rally yourself and your team. And again, maybe get one more, maybe 2 more, make this a 6-3 game. This is not as bad as the Nurse call, but boy, Ekblad, not necessary. You're in the neutral zone. You're at the red line. Just get through the neutral zone, play your game. We got to get out of here. Everybody stay healthy. Everyone wants to move on. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is inventory shopping right now between these two. You got to make sure to keep the extracurriculars at a minimum. Again, for Matthias Janmark, I think he's had one of the better games for the Edmonton Oilers, all things around. Again, he normally doesn't get to play that much. RNH. Now for Bouchard, as the Edmonton power play, get a chance to strike one more time. A goal call. That's what I wonder. Is Lundell will send this one back down. Again, that bottom 6 that already does so much for Paul Maurice's squad. They're going to have to do a lot more here, as they'll probably start resting the top gunners, as we talked about, as we're past the halfway point of this third. Draisaitl will send it in. This will be picked up by Ollie and fluttered back down the ice. And Stuart Skinner, he doesn't even want to go out to play this one. He said, Bouchard, you go ahead and take it. We'll just take our time back here. We used to see that a lot from the Tampa Bay Lightning and Victor Hedman when they get those extended timeouts for their breakouts. When you got this type of lead, we'll probably see that a little bit more as this goes along. McLeod, nerd. Oh, what a stop Stolarz, a robbery near the left side as he lost his stick.
Even that is one of the best days that we've seen from Anthony Stolarz. In our limited time that we cover Stolarz, one of the times being that Doc Sharks game in the 6-1 scoreline. Nonetheless, Stolarz has looked big for the Florida Panthers and the backup road. He lost his stick, but he started to punch it right in front. And guess who it was? Warren Foegele, who had a breakaway goal last game. He was robbed of a power play goal.
Wow, you know what? 7 goals so far in total in this game, but Stolarz playing like it's 4-3 right now. Like he's either trying to save his lead for his team or keep him within 1. That was a huge play. He's playing really hard and looking good tonight.
Yes, he is. And I think that's something that can't be lost in all this, especially for a young goaltender that wants to get some time. You had some chances with the Ducks. Now you're with the Panthers in a backup role, and you want to make your minutes count. And he's doing that right now, and that can't be lost. Here's 15 seconds. Ekholm, bounce pass. And off the boards for Perry. This will be set up now for Darnell Nurse. 10 seconds to go on the Edmonton power play. It's McLeod. Now for Perry near the right side bumper. Here's a touch pass. Try to find Ekholm. Here's another good stop that hits Stolarz up high. This will be Luostarinen able to get this one now off the rush. Is he just going to take the wrister or try to drive the net? This will be picked up now. Bennett, touch. They'll get it. This one stopped by Skinner. Try to bank it off of him. Luostarinen shoots it wide. as Lacey Back is one of the Florida defenders, able to keep this one on side. Now the Panthers will get some puck possession. OEL around side for Brodeur, but it's easily given away. Montour intercepts near the left circle. One-timer! Skinner, that one goes wide. Open net, but Bennett can't hold on his backhand. And we will get some meeting toward the right side, but nothing comes of it.
Oh, there is a penalty in the end here. So we're seeing the penalties mount. No goals in the third, but the penalties are mounting up. There was a broken stick as Darnell Nurse is fist bumping Stuart Skinner at the end of it. Kentucky was in the middle of that in the 6-1 score line. So Kentucky's making his way over to the bench, but yet another penalty. Corey Perry is in the box. Oh, I have to say.
Yeah, boys, I'm taking a look at this one, and it's and Perry kind of at their classic roles right now. And Perry can be such a pest, and Kachuk can be as well, and they both have a lot to contribute in other ways. But yeah, this is sort of what we expected in this third period, and the Panthers missing some chances here. There've been a couple opportunities, maybe they put one in. They seem to be around. They're sniffing around that goal right now. I think they're probably likely to sneak maybe one more past Skinner. Not sure what that's going to mean ultimately, but credit to them. They're making it look like this game is closer than it is.
Yeah, and again, you had Kachuk for that one wide. Bennett had a rebound opportunity, but he had to recollect off his backhand. Allowed Skinner to go ahead himself before we got a penalty call. So it looks like Corey Perry going to go to the box for a slash on Bennett. So it'll be another power play. If I try to do my rough counter here in real time, that is 9 penalties, and the Oilers have the advantage here. This is the first time that they've essentially been able to put the Panthers on their heels. You can say they did so in Game 1 and Bobrovsky stole the show. You would be correct. Sometimes that happens, but this is a game where the Edmonton Oilers have been in total control for the first time.
And of note, because the Oilers are in total control of this game, leading by 5 here in Game 4, the fact that they've used their second power play unit speaks to how dominant that they have been. For most of this game, and most of the Stanley Cup final, even dating back to the Western Conference final, Mark Stewart, being the power play coach of the Oilers, he's been double shifting the top power play unit of the Oilers. The reason is such if he wants to get more looks on the bench for his guys and getting results. He has against 5 and 6 against Dallas, and he did here in this game. He got the results that he wanted.
Yeah, you got those results by shooting the puck and being businesslike and not trying to be too frivolous with your chances. If you got something there, take advantage of it and make sure that you get that space before it gets closed off. That's what Florida have been able to do through the first 3 games. They couldn't do so in this one. Verhaeghe, Chuck now off the rebound. He'll recollect Barkov. He's hard to dispossess him on the puck no matter the scoreline. Kachuk, now Verhaeghe, backhand and tight. Skinner, I think might have got a piece of that. Maybe he got shot wide nonetheless, as Reinhardt, Verhaeghe, now to the left side bumper, picked up now by Barkov. This is more like what we would normally see from the Florida Panthers. I know scoreline indicative, but still, as Barkov, Kachuk, now to the right, back to Matthew. Matthew's still waiting near the right side. They're looking for a Montour cross-ice pass. Montour now sends back for Chuck E. Cheese. This will be picked up by Bart. And can Montour hold? No. Ran out of gas as this one is intercepted the left side red line. Stick chop. Kachuk now between his legs. Brown got a piece of it. And now Edmonton essentially says, hey, let's throw this one back and kill some time. That's the smart play because you got to force Florida to forecheck here. Broberg will make the outstretched pass. Flores will stop it in beside his cage. 6:30 left to go in the third. John Hunter with you alongside Alec, Nava, and Cooper Hopkins be able to join us for the first time in Game 4. Tarasenko, Ekman Larson. Take this one D to D. Lundell, Rister. This gets blocked. Bennett, settle it down for OEL. He's got it in the high slot. Tarasenko one more time. Bennett, Rister. Hit up high. Bounced off of Lundell. And this will be chipped just outside the zone as number 91 is going to start it again for the Panthers. As this one sent in now off the back skate. A couple players fall down as Bennett tries to pick this one up now. The shot board is even at 32. he said, because Edmonton's been able to dominate that. Corey Perry, backhand McDavid. What a touch pass goal!
Finally, there it is, John. You finally got the goal call that you were asking for. And in this burn period, the Oilers score. They can celebrate again, and none other than Dylan Holloway to get the goal to give Connor McDavid the most assists in a single playoff run in Stanley Cup playoff history. His 32nd. Nice setup, nice speed, nice goal.
The snap is good. The hold is good. There's the kick. It is up and through. 7 points. The extra point has been converted by the Edmonton Oilers. Shout out to Alec for making that call. It's almost like he pulled a John Ott right there. He predicted it. And my goodness, that was the Bobby Holt diving goal right there, my guys. That was diving up over Stolarz, celebrated in horizontal in the air right there. What vision from the best player on earth, 97, with the perfect angle, the perfect draw weights, as Derek Wills, play-by-play man of the Flames would say. A little curling reference, since we had a Canadian goal right there, or Canadian involved in that goal. It's Holloway's second, fifth of the playoffs, and the McDavid multi-point night looking excellent tonight. 7-1 Edmonton.
7-1 and 5 goals now off the rush. The counterattack, anytime the Oilers touch this puck, it's in the back of the net. I mean, Bobrovsky, Stolarz, what have you. You're not making those saves. I mean, they've been able to attack and create chances which have not been there in the first 3 games. It is just one game, but this is something that the Edmonton Oilers must continue to do on Tuesday. You got to get closer to the net and make the defense move. They've all night. As this goes across the left side, and Holloway, McDavid now has a goal and 3 assists. 4:40 left to go in this third. It's a 7-1 scoreline, as Cooper Hopkins just mentioned. We're in Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. And this crowd's had something to cheer about all night from the word go. This has now picked up some body contact. Luostarinen able to get back on his feet. And the left side, it eludes Forsling. Settle back down for Stuart Skinner. And look, I know what the score line says too, gentlemen, but I got to do this during my active play. Stuart Skinner, 33 out of 34. Dare I say, this is his best performance ever in the postseason. As this one sent in now for Connor Brown. Picked up now for Barkov. It's a loose pass. Montour's got it. We'll shovel it across as he picks it up. Send it back in across the left side red line. Again, if you want to give serenades for Bobrovsky or Stolarz, again, the Edmonton fans are within their right, as it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So this one down across his backhand and play keep away and get it back. 32 assists this postseason is a new NHL record. That is absolutely masterful. Going to break a heck of a lot more records. This one sent in, it bounces. Bennett will get a chance to pick it up. And we'll see now Philip Broberg can get the hold. McLeod trying to get it out. Nico Mikkola. Here are the Oilers again. It's a 2-on-1. Fogle cross. Mystery gets blocked. Scores! And off the slap shot from McLeod.
So we're getting the extra point. This is a 2-point conversion right there. Johnny on the spot. Ryan McLeod banked it inside. And if anyone is following along with the CFL season, it is better along here with the Oilers than it is with the Elks. 2 losses to start the year between the Montreal Alouettes and the Saskatoon Blake. I can't remember the team name for it. The Saskatoon. Oh yeah, the Rough Riders. That is the Saskatoon Rough Riders and the Montreal Alouettes, the defending CFL champions in the Grey Cup, who are 10th edition. And then this rebound banked inside top shelf by Ryan McLeod. He made absolutely no mistake. Yet another celebration.
2-point conversion, and boy, what a shot that was. That is impressive stuff. The Oilers continue to pour it on here. And this may be what we're talking about, gentlemen, or what we did during that break, our second intermission. Now when you reach a scoreline like this, 8-1, which you may only experience in the regular season once, maybe
Right.
Expand, and you're getting this in a 7-game Stanley Cup final. I think the Panthers are just going to toss this away, but you're also going to have to toss Kyle Oposo into the box. Now a penalty here.
lost Cooper there for a second, so I just muted for a moment. So we're going to look at that, but we're also going to look in again my reminder of last year in between Florida. It gives me that Game 5 vibes, in which Vegas lifted the cup. But hell, I'll even take it this way because this isn't a cup lifter. What about a couple of years ago when the Colorado Avalanche, what was it, 7-1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning? I mean, this is that type of game. It's 8-1 with 3 minutes left.
A 7-0 game 2.
Yes.
In 2022. It feels exactly like this game. Deja vu.
Just wild times, boys. I mean, it's been fun being here with you, but my goodness, I'm really getting my teeth kicked in as a lifelong Flames fan. It's the Oilers show. I'm not just saying this to try to be, professional or neutral. This is an absolutely stunning and impressive credit in the world when they could have folded. I mean, look, the biggest prize in sports is what's at stake here. You knew they were going to come with some heat, but this amount of it, my gosh, the Panthers tail in the legs now as they head back to Florida and the Sunshine State. Still going to be lots of questions to be answered. Of course, math is in their favor, but the storyline's very, very interesting. As obviously we will be moving on here with a Game 4 victory for Edmonton, and lots to talk about as we head back to Florida.
And a small joke for me here. I know Darnell Nurse said a good night, but at least for him, he's not going to have to worry about the plus minus spectacular +3 today. I don't think he's going to be setting any records.
Moments, 3:01 to go. He has to be smiling knowing the Oilers this one out and take it home. 2:55 to go here, third period. Oilers power play, especially this late. He just goes it home. The fans chanting, "Let's go Oilers!" Maybe another one.
See if we get another one. Here's Darnell Nurse. He takes a shot on it. It's saved by Stolars. Again, more and more as this game is going along, I've had to agree more and more with the settlements alongside Alec and Cooper in the sense of taking the game of flush it, because you don't see the Panthers lose like this, but it's almost better they lose like this, losing in gut-wrenching fashion, because you know that this is not what Florida can bring. This is what Edmonton can do when they're at their best. But those there's been so many rushes all the way across the board. Who they have on their cross lines, they're going to finish. That's just how it's going to be. This is near the right side for McLeod. Ekholm, and this will be sent all the way back. So Edmonton, one more power play practice before they get ready for that plane ride. In regard good, and at least on the CBC Sportsnet coverage, it's not going to sound like a post-mortem, because when I checked in Game 3, boy, oh boy, that was a bunch of sad faces. They won't have that now. 2:05 left to go in the third. As this is in across the wall, Perry's going to emerge with it. Try to take it D-to-D for Darnell. 1:55 left to go in this game as it's sent all the way down. Stuart Skinner, slow it up. As Connor McDavid, he's got a chance to get his respite essentially for the rest of this game. It's just one. That's what you got to remind yourself if you're a Panthers fan. And honestly, if you're an Oilers fan, there's a lot of work left to do. Connor Brown will send this in across the wall. This will be slammed down off the clear. Florida will do their job on the kill. And will be settled back down one more time for Skinner. It is window dressing in the last essentially minute for Connor Brown. They'll define the entry, but it does feel good for the fans. At least I can say that regardless of where I am as far as my fandom. You want to see the fans get something to feel good about, because these tickets cost a lot of money. As it's 1 minute left, Kulak will now collect. We'll slow up. It's Cody C. Gets gloved down by Florida. I would never believe in my wildest dreams that the scoreline is where it is. 8-1. Here's an opportunity. Big slapper just misses the left side. Brown wanted it all. And I don't blame him. They were close to 10 goals in this one. So Florida, well, I think Edmonton's going to call off the dog. And we'll have the fans essentially carry it home as this one gets sent in off a stick shaft. Darnell Nurse, one more time around the kick plate. We'll see how much Florida is continuing to attack as this one gets sent in. The icing is waved off. Stolars, nice chip as it's down to 17 seconds. And that's officially it, gentlemen. 8-1 is your final. No more attack from the Panthers, but 8-1. Again, it's only 3-1 in the series. Florida still in the driver's seat, but they got uppercutted to death in this one.
It did really good here in game 4. It's a dominant victory overall. What we wanted to see from the Oilers in this series is score off the rush. They got their goals off the rush. 4 of the first 5 of them being exactly that. 3-on-2s, trailers, and the largest Stanley Cup final win margin when facing elimination, +7. This is something that we have not seen in 106 years, when the 1918 Vancouver Millionaires did the same thing at Toronto St. Patrick's in 1922 and the Toronto Maple Leafs in 19. They won by 6 when facing elimination. So this ties the largest win margin when facing elimination here in Game 4. The Oilers, their backs against the wall. This is some much-needed confidence heading into Game 5 at Amherst Bank Arena.
Just tonight, I think I said this deserves repeat. It's a night we could not have predicted. I mean,
no.
Even if you called for an Oilers win, even if you thought they would dig down and find a way to grab a W here, they didn't just grab it. They ripped it off of the shelf and hung it over the lifeless corpse of the Florida. But luckily, the Florida Panthers have done the work prior to tonight to get up. They're like the Undertaker coming out of the coffin. They're a living meme at this point. They're gonna raise up from the dead, you would think, and respond when they are back at home. And again, as we touched on, if that is not the case, if we see something anywhere close to this, where the Oilers were to take Game 5 and really start to narrow the series margin, then we have an entire different ball of wax on our hands. But that is a hypothetical for now. All we know is that the Edmonton Oilers put on a performance, really one for the ages here. Historic greatness tonight when faced with a must-win, and they must do this again if they expect to continue and even have any chance to the Stanley Cup. It's still the Panthers to lose, but man, oh man, did they lose tonight. One step in the right direction, Brent.
Narratives into the Tuesday side as far as what could happen, because again, you think the Oilers are going to get one. Everybody thought that this was going to be a pretty long series. And again, when you mentioned the Vancouver Millionaires, I'm thinking, what is this, like the London Silly Nannies, like the Peter Griffin Family Guy thing? Are you kidding? When you need something like that to break it out, that kind of tells you that the Panthers got beat the living daylights out of today.
Oh my goodness, you have a big back to comedy. The Simpsons, and we see many crossovers between the two. So when you go on that one, when you have the comparison as the fans, they're getting gloves worn by the players during the game and classy salutes by the Edmonton players and getting the gloves over to the fans. They got treated to a clinic here in Game 4.
Yeah, and I don't know. Listen, I'll say this, guys. Are you sure you want to toss your equipment out there, gentlemen? I think the Edmonton Oilers, you might want to hang on to those.
Yes.
Boys that scored 8 goals with them tonight. Maybe keep them for another game. Yeesh.
Yeah, for the days. But if you want to have those kids wear those equipment down their futures, and they are old enough to wear them later, I just don't know how they're going to fit onto their hands later on. But you want to hold on to that equipment.
Superstition, huh? You just sign a blanket. Go buy him a shirt from the gift shop and sign that thing. You gotta, guys, come on.
Yeah, I agree with that, honestly. It's been such a showcase. I don't think you want to change a thing. We'll leave that in Tuesday. Honestly, gentlemen, I'm not going to have an expanded post game only because this scoreline is where it is. I just want to say thank you for being able to join in. Hopefully, we can all do this again on Tuesday side if you guys don't want to do the trio again, depending. But I do want to say one last thing. I know I mentioned it during the active play-by-play, which should not be lost in all of this. Big time for Edmonton as well. I know the scoreline is where it is, and it's a team victory. Stuart Skinner did make 32 out of 33. he made sure this game never got close.
He did. He never made sure that he never got close to where it is. I want to give a shout out to TKB for tuning in through the Latter St. Just game late in the third period. Shout out to you, my guy.
Hey, gentlemen, I tried to interject there. I wasn't sure if you could hear me, but I figured I'd let you guys finish it a piece, as always. John, Alec, great call. Cooper, nice to hear you tune in on it. I came up when you fumble the Rough Riders. Obviously, I'm in Saskatchewan, so I know it's not the Saskatoon Rough Riders. I was sitting here rolling my grave when I got to come up to my boy Al, get this shit straightened out. But no, you guys, the calls were good. I was going to say with what you're saying with the gloves, makes sense, but at the same time, you got to throw the superstition out the window with the gloves anyways, because you got to change to your away unit for the next game. So you may as well give the fans a memento and move on. Keep your gitch the same for for Tuesday, but the gloves can cope with.
Oh yeah, no, hey, they've been doing long enough to know you just having fun with it. Those of course are the great souvenirs for those fans up there. And hey, even as a Flames fan, it's great to see the Oilers fans being able to celebrate, and that's what makes it fun. You know, that the rivalry is so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good to see Canadian teams succeed. We were so close way back when in 2004, and I thought it might be a closer series at this point with the Oilers looking so skilled. But you know what? This kind of a win could really spark something here. This is huge. I mean, it goes without saying. What a win, 8-1.
Yeah, it's been good. I've been to a few of the Oilers games here this postseason. It's been fun. It's been a good atmosphere. So nice to see him keep it running.
Yeah, we'll see how long it's going to go. Tuesday's going to be a big one, and that's going to change all our narratives should the Oilers get done again, regardless. It doesn't have to be this type of score line. You just got to get one more than the other, and that's the most important part. So, gentlemen, I look forward to Tuesday again. Our job's not done yet, so we'll see if we get a cup champion then or if we get another 3 days off after this.
Yeah, I said going into this, I felt like the two biggest breaks were for the Oilers and their fan base that Florida came in and swept them 4-0. And for the Florida Panther, the worst outcome was going to be actually going all the way to Game 7 again and losing it. So obviously that 4-0 sweep is off the docket. So we'll see. It'd be pretty crazy if Edmonton can make a push and come back and do something of that fashion. We will see. One thing that's never happened in the Stanley Cup Finals is a Game 7 overtime. So our first ever.
TKB, I'm actually throwing a glove to you right now because you just called out my prediction for the series. I thought it would go 7 in OT with the Panthers taking it. So a big glove toss over the glass to you, my friend. Way to call that out.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, I got to go in the other way, but I think it'll be. But I'll give you a follow. I'll keep up. I enjoy what you guys do. Obviously, me and Alec have bantered back and forth on a few spaces, and John, appreciate you. I'll try to link up with you guys in a future one if I'm not on dad duty, and we'll banter with you if you want.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to talking to you gentlemen soon, so we'll see you on Tuesday.
Guys.
It was a long game for one team and not for the other. The Edmonton Oilers, in an effort that you don't often see in this Stanley Cup Final, Game 5 between Vegas and Florida. You can talk about Game 2 and the 7-0 for the Colorado Avalanche over the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's kind of what it was tonight, and an 8-1 result. So that just means we're going to see it on Tuesday. The series is extended for that long at least, and we'll see if Florida. I think maybe for the Panthers, it's better to take a loss like this rather than anything gut-wrenching. But again, I'll hold all narratives until the end of Game 5. If the Oilers win Game 5, then all of a sudden, all bets are off, and we're talking about the series that we thought that we might get. But this was a butt kicking, and we will see you on Tuesday. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.